irreplaceable. You know, I still think about when I was young, like not knowing if we were going to have enough food.
Yeah.
I think about that. I mean, we were on welfare when I was like 7 years old, and I think about those days because I remember being nervous that we wouldn't have enough food, or people being mad at me that I ate too much.
Yeah.
Like I've never been mad at my kids if they ate too much.
Yeah.
But I remember that people would get upset at me if I ate too much, and I remember thinking, man, we might not have enough food. And there's something that gets instilled in you when you're poor, when you're young. There's a nervousness or a drive that I don't think you can replace in a kid that grows up affluent. I just don't think it's possible.
I would agree. And I mean, you've been around all walks of life like I have myself. And the one thing I wouldn't take back is, now there'll be, of course you get successful and people are like, oh, he's got money, he's got this. And it's like, I remember my dad, he worked for the highway department. He was a sole provider for the family of four, making like $1,400 a month. And I had a sister, and both my parents smoked. My dad drank a lot of beer, so whatever that $1,400 went to, it was a lot less than that after those vices, right? And so when I needed something, you had to work for it. I remember working my ass off to get a pair of Converse, which was a huge deal. They're like $50 or something. Where now, my daughter, she works hard, so I try to instill some of those things on her, but I also probably spoil her too much because I'm like, I do not want you to suffer or struggle like that.
I know, isn't that funny? It's like what makes people interesting. I always say this about my friends. Like all my friends that are interesting grew up fucked up. All of them. All of them grew up in like crazy households and fucked up, and now they're just like me. They all like really loving parents. They love being a father.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, we're giving these kids a life that is gonna ensure they're never gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's no shit. I will say, thank God for my daughter because I she's 5 when we got divorced. And on my side of things, you've got backpack hunters and power lifters, photographers, team, like tier 1 group guys. And Kaylee's like all walks of life. She speaks 2.5 languages, working on a third.
2.5?
She's not fluent in 3, so I say 2.5. Right? I don't want to say she's fluent in 3, but she's shockingly Caucasian, and she speaks fluent Spanish. Like literally, she's from Mexico, and so. That kid is
super. It's a good skill to have.
Oh, it was. I just hired at Kafaru because we have different people. Some of our sewers and things. Mm-hmm. It's super handy. She can speak it. Yeah. Well, we've done good between my ex-wife and I because that kid budgets to a point I want to choke her because she just moved up here and I'm like, look, I'll just pay for it. She's like, nope, I don't want any money. I'm gonna do it on my own. I budgeted all this and I'm like. I must have done something right because I would have prayed for help because I didn't have help after 17.
I think sometimes it's just genetics too. It's what makes a kid a kid. Yeah. Like I have one kid that's insanely ambitious and like super hyper focused, and she, whatever she gets into, she becomes obsessed, just completely obsessed. And it's not because of want or need. It's just some weird drive. So it's like. I think they call it epigenetics. It's something that's transmitted down from parent to the child, some desire for perfection in things.
We should talk about that because that's interesting. I brought up I've never smoked weed in my life. Never, no coke, no heroin, no nothing. And my dad is a huge pothead.
Right.
I am incapable of losing. I hate losing. My dad is the most uncompetitive man you would ever meet in your life. And it's weird. Something skipped. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, that's my family too. My mom is like real laid back. Like she's not ambitious at all. She's not. She's just real friendly and sweet and easygoing.
Yeah.
And I've always been just psychotically driven from when I was young. I remember I came home once. I was running in the snow, and I was like 16. And I had run up, we lived on a hill, and I ran up the hill and then ran up the stairs into the house, and I opened the door, and it's fucking snowing like crazy outside, and she's got a cup of coffee because it's early in the morning. She was like, I don't even know where you came from. And then she just goes into the kitchen and has breakfast.
I tell you what, though, it is good. I'm not Father of the Year by any means, but when we do, simple things for your kid to see, like we do backpack cardio, and Kaylee comes, and she can see – you're giving it everything you've got. You know what I mean? They see that shit's it's they learn impressionable, I guess. Yeah, hell yeah, they do.
Yeah, they say like the best way a guy can be a father to his daughter is to especially like to set them up for the future is to show them how they should expect to be treated and show them how you treat other people. Like the way you behave around them is like what they're going to learn.
Yeah.
Like if you're respectful and friendly, like the way you are, that is oftentimes better for them to see than even what you teach them and tell them. Because what you tell them only goes so far, but what they see, when they see you drive or driven, when they see you work hard, when they see you diligent and respectful and friendly, that's what really like sinks in.
Yeah, it's worked good. So I crossed my fingers. She's 19, so I mean, I wouldn't change anything. Where I was a little fuckhead when I was a kid, I was bad.
Yeah, I was a fuckhead. I was a fuckhead for sure.
We were talking, where I'm from, while we were bouncing around in rabbit holes. There's a lake I live on. It's like 9 miles long, and you're a product of what you're surrounded by. So, my dad and his friends, did not like tourists, right? So we would cut boats loose and push them out in the lake for all the people camping.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's old enough now I can't get in trouble, right?
Your dad was teaching you how to do that?
He didn't teach that. He was just constantly complaining about tourists, right? So then we would wreak havoc and then go Yogi Berra, get camoed up, go steal everybody's beer in the middle of the night.
Why did he not like tourists? What was it?
I don't. California was probably the worst one, right? I mean, being from Oregon, if you're from Idaho, you bitch about people from Washington.
Right.
I don't, my world was so much different because I left at 17 and, I joined the Army. I was in the Army for a few years and then I got out. And so from how I was raised to how I end up, it's just different, I mean, I'm 200 people in my hometown. I mean, I live in Denver now, for God's sake. So it's a big difference.
Giant difference. Jeez.
Well, and I mean, social diversity as well.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, now from where I was to like right now, the views I was raised with, and I mean everything has changed, greatly for the better. I mean, you look back. I mean, I'm sure your same thing made you, my dad was not exactly easy on me, but it fucking made me tougher. So I can't bitch about that.
It's weird. It's like you wouldn't want to go through it again, right? You don't want to be, but there's some insanely valuable lessons in that. But I think, I don't think it's impossible to raise a good kid, if you're not struggling. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's more difficult. What is that old expression? It's easier for a rich man to pass through the eye of a needle than to go to heaven.
I don't know that one.
I think that's an ancient biblical expression.
Usually my sayings are much different than that, and I usually get in trouble for them. But yeah, I'm sure that makes sense.
Did you just bust out your Copenhagen?
I did. Am I cool to chew on here? All right, good.
Do you need a bottle to spit it into?
I got this here. We're good.
How often do you have to chew that shit?
It's funny you mention that. About a can and a half a day. But
Cowboy gave me some once, and I swallowed it.
Oh, did you puke like Luke? Every time Luke borrows a dip. Oh, you manned up?
I didn't. It didn't even make me sick.
Luke puked all over yesterday, and he just right in the film crews are everywhere for the tournament, and Luke is just yakking like uncontrollably. I'm like, oh, good God, somebody get a camera on him.
Jamie thinks it's funny.
Didn't even know you swallowed it, which is like
that I didn't know.
It's unbelievable to know that. Like, that's so disgusting. That's why he asked if you puked right away. Like,
no, I didn't puke.
Well,
yeah,
that's pretty solid. It's weird. I drank for the first time with Luke not too long ago. I haven't drank in a couple decades. And,
really? What made you have a drink?
I told him I would. He said, "I want you to get you fucked up on my podcast." I was his first guest, so you've known Luke for forever. I don't know if you. How long have you known Luke? A decade?
We should say who he is. Luke Cordillo. He is involved in MMA. He's been involved in MMA forever. Used to be a fighter. Yeah. Works with Justin Gaethje, who's a UFC interim lightweight champion. I've known him a long time. He's always been around.
Yeah, so we shoot archery constantly. In fact, for everybody listening, I have taken every bit of money from Luke. He's about to get divorced. Just to remind you of that, Luke. And
do you guys gamble on archery?
Oh my God, badly.
Really?
And I'm not a good guy to gamble against in archery. So
I didn't know gambling in archery was a big deal, but it makes sense. It is in bowling and pool and.
We think about it. If you have, pick guys. You get, Dudley and Cam and me and you and Lee. I don't know if you know Levi Morgan, probably the greatest archer to ever hold a bow in his hand.
I hunted with him in Utah last year.
Yeah, it's super cool, dude.
We were in
right?
camp together. Yeah. Great guy.
Think about the amount of money if everybody's got a few hundred in their pocket and the shit talking starts. Well, Luke is the epic shit talker, but he does not have the skill level to back that up. So
He just loves talking shit.
he does, and so I goad him into gambling. So yesterday, I think he's $45 short of paying up, but I'm pretty sure he's about to get a divorce from gambling too much.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, in pool, they would always tell you that you should gamble because it'll make your game better.
Hell yes, it will.
Yeah, and I would imagine that same thing would be said for shooting.
Yeah.
Because you would be able to fire under pressure.
Yep. Well,
Are you packing right now? Is that
I'm
what you're doing?
packing it. Yeah, I'm going to put an upper decker in.
An upper decker?
Yeah.
Do you worry about mouth cancer with that shit?
I don't.
No? Jesus Christ, look at the size of that wad. Holy fuck, dude. Oh, my God. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's worse than the bottom lip. I've actually
That was
started.
like a handful of grass. Like you just grabbed some mulch.
Yeah, I started chewing Zen. You seen that?
What's that? Is that fake?
No, it's not fake. It's strong, but it doesn't have the carcinogens in it.
What? How
And
do they do
so-
that?
Christ, man, don't make me explain. Jamie, can you look at?
Yeah, what? How could they take the carcinogens out?
So
If people hear me coughing, it's not the COVID, folks. I did stand up this weekend for the first time in 3 months in Houston. Shout out to Houston. And my voice is shot from screaming. I didn't realize it, but your voice gets in shape,
yeah,
you know? And my voice is way out of shape. After the first show, my voice was like a little hoarse.
did you pack the house?
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be at 75% capacity. I think that's what they're saying it was. So it was packed though. It was a lot of fun, man. It was weird. It was very weird to be back on stage again. A lot of fun though. But LA's bad right now. The Comedy Store just furloughed all of its employees. They were hoping to reopen, and they had opened as a bar. So they had outside patio seating, and they had it all set up nice, social distance and everything. And then the governor just came down with another order to shut all the bars down. And now the Comedy Store has no money coming in, so they're fucked. And then it looks like they're not gonna open up anytime soon. They were hoping to open the Comedy Club back up in August or July. You know, that was the hope. And it looks like that's not happening now, so we're fucked.
That sucks.
It
But-
does suck. Because in Texas, they had it down. You wear a mask. People wore a mask in the audience. Everybody had masks, like getting into the building. All the servers had masks. You know, they check temperatures in places. They know how to keep people safe. You got to give people the opportunity to make their own decisions.
That's my thing. You know, if you want to wear a mask or stay home, that's your prerogative. But, you know, I'm not. Of course, you know, I'm young and healthy, so I'm, you know, whatever.
Right.
I'm not worried about it. But you lock people in. I mean, I don't see anything good coming out of that. And
No, it's not. It's not good for the economy. It's not good for the people. It's not good for their sense of like how they fit into the world.
Well, and I'm kind of with you. I'm all for fat shaming, or I'd be fatter than I am now if it wasn't for fat shaming. The health, I mean, you think about it, how unhealthy people are getting just sitting at home.
Yeah.
It's not good.
70% of the United States is overweight. That's insane. I mean, that really is insane. And that's a real problem with COVID. They say that one of the major factors in COVID is obesity. It's
Obesity.
a huge factor.
Yeah, which is, you know, in general or whatever, it's pretty, I get a kick out of how we're pretty soft, you know, as Americans. I mean, especially if you're third world countries and you look at, like, people are happy they don't have to go to work. And I'm like,
I know.
good God. Like,
Well, a lot of people are actually making more money from unemployment
Yeah.
than they would be if they went back to work, especially like waiters and stuff like that, because you're dealing with a much smaller amount of people in the restaurants and businesses. Because they're even in like Texas, even though the restaurants were open, I think they were at 75% capacity, and then they just rolled it back to 50%. So if you're working as a waiter or waitress, you know, you're going to make less money. So for some folks, it's actually better for them to say, "Oh, I don't want to do it. I'm just keep collecting unemployment," and you actually make more money that way. I've talked to a bunch of people that have said that they make more money off unemployment.
Well, we at Kafaru, we just kept paying everybody. You know, we took a 4 months off, I guess, just paid everyone, whatever. And we, you know, I was looking at like how that worked, and I was like, good God. Once I started reading about you're talking about the unemployment, I'm like, Jesus, there's going to be a lot of people that don't go back to work, and it's the same thing in Colorado, but But
it's sad, man. It's really sad because there's a lot of people that are losing their businesses through no fault of their own. They didn't do anything wrong. They work hard. They're disciplined. They show up every day. They put together a business, and now it's folding. It's going under, and it might be happening to the Comedy Store. I mean, they don't know what they're going to do. And I heard the Laugh Factory is about to go under as well. So the state of comedy in California is in a real bad place right now. Real bad.
Yeah, that sucks. And I don't want to dive into this too much, but it's fucked up. It seems way blown out of proportion, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but how many people do you know that are sick personally?
I know one guy who almost died.
Yeah.
And he's not an old guy. His name's Michael Yo. He's a comic. And there was a bunch of extenuating circumstances, and one of them being that he has vitamin D deficiency. Another one being that he flew to New York with very little sleep, worn out, did radio and promotion, did TV shows, then did 2 shows at a comedy club, 2 shows the next night, flew back home, again, very little sleep, got in his car with his family, drove to Vegas to be with his wife's family, and then drove back home on the same day. So that's at least 8 hours in the car just driving. And then he had auditions the next 2 days, and he just was wiped out. He was burning the candle at both ends. Yeah. And he got real sick. Sick.
Yeah, immune system was just crushed.
Yeah, but you shouldn't do that. All those things, that's too much. You know, it's just poor planning. And then, on top of that, I think he was run down already. Like he might have had a little bit of a cold already. So it kicked in, and it was bad. I mean, he was hospitalized for over a week. And his doctor actually told him they were, thinking about putting him on a ventilator, and his doctor said, if we put you on a ventilator, you'll probably die. And it turns out his doctor was a wise man, because somewhere around 80% of the people they put on ventilators in New York City died.
Yeah, I heard that. That's crazy.
The doctor was saying that if you put the guy, if you put him on a ventilator, his body would stop working. It's like if I give your body this machine that starts working for it and your body stops working, there's no guarantee it's going to start working again. It's going to breathe on its own again.
Right.
Scary fucking shit, man.
Yeah.
But but here's the big one, man. The real big one that drives me crazy. Why are they not talking about how to take care of yourself? Yeah. Instead of all this fear of you got to wear a mask and you got to social distance and all that stuff's great. Yeah, you should do that. You should wear a mask. You should social distance. But you know what you should also do? Drink a lot of water. You should also get sleep. You should also stop eating sugar. Yeah. You should also take vitamins, supplement your diet, try to get some sunshine. Do all the things that you need to do for health. Get exercise.
Yeah.
Increase your cardiovascular capacity. It's a giant factor in whether or not you recover from this disease or how quickly you recover.
No, my buddy John called, and he was like going on a tirade about exact same thing you're talking about. He's you might know him. He's PRS. He's a shooter, long range shooter. He is a super fit guy, lawn mow. Normal dude, right? He owns a lawn mowing deal. Anyway, but he's one of the better shooters in the United States, or North America.
Long range rifle shooting.
Yeah, he's crazy good. I would not want him shooting at me at 1,000 yards. And he, his thing is why the fuck aren't we giving people dieting advice? Why aren't we telling people rather than having all these announcements? It's like, hey, we're losing so much money. Like, let's start focusing people as dietitians.
Yes.
Let's get people on a health food kick. Let them, how many people, and you pick 100 people, 99 probably understand how to eat healthy.
Right.
Not their fault, right? I didn't know until later on.
Yeah.
So I agree. And on my end, I'm super lucky. We live at 10,000 feet. I have my wife drop me off the bottom of the mountain, so I have to hike home to get dinner, right? You want a way to get healthy, you fucking don't get to eat. So she drops me off at the bottom of the mountain, and I go to the top. She cooks all organic. And I talk to some of these people that have other issues, and they're worried about COVID. And I'm like, you're worried about fucking COVID, right? You've got 100 other problems other than COVID, right? You're like diabetic and a bunch of other shit. And it's amazing, not to get on the diet thing, but America's pretty bad as far as that goes. We should put some money into that.
Our health system is all about fixing you once you're broken. It's not about preventing you from being broken. Everything is about our healthcare system is all about care once you're injured or care once you're sick. It's very little is about preventative nutrition and making sure you take care of your body and education. I mean, our governor, our mayors, all these people are doing is just talking about wearing masks, talking about staying home, flattening the curve, making sure that, I mean, all this shit they're talking, that no advice at all about taking care of yourself. No advice at all on meditation. No advice at all on eating healthy and exercise.
Yeah.
It's
Of course,
sad.
I say that as I just jammed a giant wad of chewing, so I'm a bit,
How
bit of
bad
a
is that for
hypocrite.
you, though? I mean, if you,
I mean, as far as like,
what is it doing? It gives you a little jolt, right?
yeah. Well, for me, obviously, the worst thing's obviously cancer, right? I mean,
Right.
that's bad. But other than that, I mean, there's not.
How many people get cancer from that shit? Is it real common?
Man, I'd have to look that up. I don't know. What's that there?
Neurogum. This is
You're gonna
mints,
get me
actually.
other kind of shit I'm addicted to.
This is good stuff, man. It's
This-
nootropics in mint form.
You've already got me addicted to all that shit on it. You know what? The first time I took Alpha Brain, now that we're just diving down all the time, I had the most crazy ass dreams, which I knew that shit worked because I don't dream. And but either way, I mean, as far as the Copenhagen, my buddy was addicted to cocaine in Copenhagen. He tried to quit both. He's still chewing Copenhagen. So to give you an idea, it's not easy to quit. But that Zen, what we were talking about, it is just nicotine in it. And
It's ZIN? Is that how you say it?
ZYN. I think.
ZYN?
And this is the first time in my life I think I'm going to be able to quit. So I went from a can and a half a day to about a can every 4 days.
There it is. Are Zyn nicotine pouches safe? Recently, a novel non-tobacco nicotine product, Zyn, has been developed. It is similar to snus. I never knew how to say
Snooze,
that. Okay, thank you.
I think.
However, it contains no nitrosamines, is that the word? Nitrosamines, or polycyclic hydrocarbons, which may potentially be carcinogenic. The overall safety of Zyn is better than snus. However, it only has a little bit less nicotine than snus. Okay, what does that mean?
I don't
What
know.
did they just say?
Don't read anything bad. You're going to take away my birthday here.
So it's a pouch, so you
Yeah,
don't have
it's like a
to
pouch.
pack a wad of mulch and stuff it into your face.
Yeah, it's a little more professional.
And it just gives you a jolt.
I tell you what, I put 2 of them in the first time, and I got dizzy as shit. So it's got some strong. I mean, because they said it's 100 cigarettes in a can of chew.
Really?
Equal of Copenhagen.
Oh my God!
And so,
really?
oh man, and
100 cigarettes worth of nicotine?
that's what they say. Yeah.
So how many cigarettes worth was that giant wad that you stuffed in your face?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'm gonna get some hate mail from this. I'm talking about being fat and unhealthy, and I'm chewing Copenhagen. But
What's a stimulant?
yeah. And well, the other thing, the physical addiction. That's the problem with Zen. You don't spit, right? And you get used to that. I mean,
So you
been
just hold it
chewing
in
forever.
your mouth.
Well,
You swallow it?
I do. It tastes good. Maybe that's why I got so dizzy. I got like a citrus one or whatever, but I just it's the first time in my life where I've been like, yeah, honey, I think I might be able to quit.
One of the stunt guys I used to work with on Fear Factor used to swallow his chew, and he told me that he used to swallow the spit, and he told me he learned how to do that on sets because you couldn't just carry a bottle around and spit into it or spit into a cup.
Yeah.
So he just would swallow the juice, and I thought it was so fucking disgusting.
It is a disgusting habit. It's pretty bad. So, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. I guess in 3 months, if I text you and be like, "Hey, I quit."
Do you drink a lot of coffee too?
No, I mean I drink a decent amount of coffee. I mean I'm a caffeine. I get migraines, so I'm 500 milligrams a day. I
Really?
pretty much map it out. Yeah.
So you take caffeine to avoid migraines?
No, I just know that because I get, as I say that when I got on TRT, I get a migraine once every 3 months. I was getting them once a week. So
Really?
whatever TRT did, which I have to thank you for that, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. But
Okay.
I learned really quick seeing neuropsychologists and brain doctors. They don't know a fucking thing about the human brain. They're like, here, take some more
don't?
pills. No. And so I literally...
They don't. We're in real trouble.
Well, they're giving me these Band-Aids, and I'm like, look, I don't want something that fixes after I got it. I don't want to fucking get them, right?
Right.
Like, this thing could probably make my asshole turn around and start talking back to me. The fucking negatives to this pill I'm taking for my migraines are so bad, right?
And was it one of those pills? There's some pills that you take once a week.
I just take it when I get one. So I have ocular migraines. Like I couldn't tell you two apart when I get them. I get blurry vision.
Wow.
An hour before I get the migraine. So I take that pill as soon as I get blurry vision. Now my head itches and I'm all kinds of goofy. There's some kind of anti-anxiety or depressant in that thing. There's a bunch of other shit. I don't know, but I don't get a migraine. But those pills cannot be good for you. I wanted to get to a point. Is it my diet? All right, is that what's giving me the migraine? Is it caffeine? Because there was a time I didn't take any caffeine. So I map out everything, and I kept a log of when I got migraines. And so once that's why I know exactly.
Describe what it feels like. I've never had a migraine. What does it feel like?
Jamie pounding a fucking nail through my eye socket.
Just intense pain.
I got them so bad I had to get a spinal epidural because I was heaving up blood because I was convulsing, basically.
What?
I'm not the only
migraines?
one. Yeah.
Holy
Migraines are bad.
shit.
So when you get them, and they're not all that bad, but you get sick and you would vomit uncontrollably, and then your esophagus would rub together or whatever, and you'd vomit blood. And so
you're from. Explain, like, where's the blood coming from? You said your
From the
esophagus is rubbing
together, heaving. No different when your kidneys rub together. When you're dehydrated, you piss blood. Same principle, except it's your esophagus.
That's what that is? Your kidneys are rubbing together? Is this all science?
Yeah, I've peed blood a few times on backpack hunts. You run out of water, kidneys rub together, and you'll
They
pee blood.
rub together? That's
Yeah.
what's causing it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
That seems wrong.
Well, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on a podcast. But I've had doctors tell me that's why.
So your kidneys rub together. Wow.
You
So
know,
your esophagus is rubbing together from you heaving from the pain of the migraine.
from the migraine.
Motherfucker.
So
that's
people
gotta be
listening to
crazy.
this, I'm sure you're going to get all kinds of emails. Because when I started talking about it on a podcast, I started getting tons of people. This is what I took to get rid of them. Literally hundreds of people that have suffered from migraines. And I've had a lot of concussions, so that I'm sure that's part of the problem. Well, part of the problem is my blood pressure is extremely low.
When did you get the concussions from the service? Or
I had one bad one there. I had two bad ones in football. Flipped a bike over. Got kicked in the head once later on. It was pretty bad. I was in a car wreck and another one.
Oh,
so I've had
Jesus.
9.
and did the migraines come after that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And actually, I recently had. You'll like it. I don't know if you might have listened to it. I had Steve Tetrold. I was stationed with him in Korea. I got hit with an AT-4. Got fired off a rocket launcher. I was right behind it. That's how I got that big knot on my head up here. That was when they started. That was bad. And so whatever.
Michael Yo, who we were talking about before, he actually played football in high school and college, and he had some real bad concussions, and he gets migraines because of that as well.
Yeah,
So I think there's probably a connection. Right?
Well, I would think
Have to,
that
right?
have to be. But one thing I notice is whatever's gone on in my melon, my blood pressure's low, and I got a bit of a temper problem. And so when my anger spikes up, my blood pressure rises, I get a migraine the next day.
they're real connected, like brain damage and temper is very connected.
Well, I started working on meditation. Like I really, it's helped in my shooting because I can really focus out of, I can get. I mean, as weird as it sounds, right? You become one with yourself, right? Trying to keep my blood pressure low. Well, I think with the TRT, my blood thickened up some from when I wasn't taking it, my blood was super thin. Maybe that's it.
So when you say thickened, like more red blood cells, like what does that
Well,
mean?
when I say thickened, this has no scientific nothing. When they take my blood every 3 months, when they first took my blood, it ran like water. When they took it the next time, they were like, hey, your blood's thickened up, whatever that is, red blood cell count, I don't know. They were like, your blood is thicker. It is not as thin or runny as it was before. And I'm like, is my blood pressure up? They said, well, it's normal now.
For everybody listening, welcome to another episode of Two Morons Talking About Medicine.
And as we're saying that, I told the lady that I work with, and she basically said the same thing. She's like, well, we'll take credit for it, although I don't know that it has any scientific weight on the subject. But the moment I started taking TRT.
There it goes. Testosterone increases the chance of clot formation in 2 ways. A common side effect of testosterone therapy is, there we go with the words, polycythemia, which increases the body's supply of hemoglobin and hematocrit, affecting the blood cells. This can increase the blood pressure and thicken the blood slightly. There you go.
See, I'm not full of shit,
Logic.
everyone. I was 100% truthful. So
Science.
whether that has to do with it, that's just a redneck way of saying I don't get migraines anymore, and that could be why. Whatever the actual scientific reason is, my blood is definitely thicker, and my blood pressure is normal.
Well, one of the things that happens also to people that have had a bunch of head injuries is your endocrine system doesn't function properly. Your pituitary gland doesn't produce hormones correctly, and it makes people depressed.
Gotcha.
Makes you very lackadaisical, lethargic. It's very difficult to get motivated for things. And they find that with football players, particularly with soldiers. A lot of soldiers that are treated by my friend Dr. Mark Gordon. He runs this Traumatic Brain Institute, and the whole goal of this was essentially initially to try to figure out why these soldiers and football players and martial artists and all these people were experiencing so much depression and what was going on. And it turned out that, man, your pituitary gland is really sensitive.
Yeah. Well, and
endocrine system just get really fucked up by even jet skiing.
Well, luckily, like they having my blood tested every 3 months. I don't go to the doctor. I'm bad about that, and so that was like the first time I had a physical, basically. And so
Ever?
Yeah, a couple decades. Yeah, I got pneumonia once, and I went to the doctor for that. I almost died. I was too stupid to, how a man's or a woman, whatever, how a certain individual's brain works is stupid looking back at it. I thought I had like allergies or something, and I'm like, hey, let's go do cardio. Let me work this out of my system. I worked my ass right into the hospital. I had double lung pneumonia. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
And trying to push?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I pushed my way right into almost death. Like
I got pneumonia when I was 19. It was rough.
Well, it took me like 6 months to get back on track. But the lady was super nice. I remember going in, and she's like, hey, who's your doctor? I'm like, I don't have a doctor. And she's like, well, you have Kaiser Insurance. I'm like, if I have a doctor, I haven't seen him. I'm like, you tell me who my doctor is because I don't know, and because they assign you a doctor.
You're not one of those responsible people with
No,
a regular
I'm not.
doctor.
Negative. I'm horrible. I'm like the worst adulter known to man. It's bad. And so they gave me the X-ray, and they're like, you have double lung pneumonia. And I'm
Adulting
like,
is hard.
It is. People give me, you suck at anything. So I'm good at photography, shooting. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking horrible at adulting. I didn't file my taxes for 4 years. I've got a lot of downfalls. Oh, it's all taken care of now. Oh. It's when I have people at work that come up with an issue and they're kind of embarrassed. I'm like, look, there is nothing you have fucked up that I haven't. Do not be embarrassed. I can help you. Because I focus on so many other things. Things like that just get pushed to the wayside.
Do you find that because of all the time you spend in the woods that it's kind of difficult to concentrate on all that silly shit? Because it's when you're out in that primal environment, like there's something about it that makes all that other stuff seem meaningless. You don't want to focus on it.
Because we live in a society where it's important, and I'm not good at it. It's horrible. I talk about it all the time at work. I mean, I hire people really smart around me because I'm just not, we could be sitting there in a meeting. I shouldn't even say this out loud, which is an extremely important meeting. And I'm sitting here and thinking what my gear list is and how much my caloric intake will be on a 5-day backpack hunt.
Wow, it's like normal, though. If you're spending 50% of your time literally sleeping under the stars.
Because we'll get done with a meeting. I'm like, all right, who took notes? I am now have gotten better at just telling people ahead of time, like, hey, you're going to talk with me. We're going to do our initial bullshit session. You're not going to want to deal with me after this because I'm going to let you down. I'm too busy. You're going to deal with Frank or Dana or Anders or whoever that works for me. You're going to deal with them. Don't expect me to come through because my mind's on too much other stuff. And I've had to get a lot better at that because I just don't function well on stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
but
admittedly
I think that one of the reasons why the company's so good and you guys make such good backpacks is because there's real, like, it's hard to put it down in the real world. It's not like accounting or bookkeeping and like where, we have to do the work here, but doing the work of actually sleeping under the stars, actually camping, actually hunting and hiking, that's invaluable, man.
There's been a few heated arguments over that where they've given me crap about paperwork, and I'm like, oh, totally, I get it. I'm going to get better at paperwork, but your ass is coming with me on a 10-day backpack hunt, and you're not fucking slacking, and you're getting water, and you're building fires, and you're spotting animals. And when we get done with that, if you're as good at that as I am, then I'm going to get better at paperwork. But until that fucking day right now, what we're good at is making badass gear for the backcountry. That's why I hired you.
Yeah, it's got to work together, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got to be able to do that, and they've got to be able to do the shit that you can't do.
Yeah, and we have a tight-knit group now, which is great. Like everybody knows their role, and we're all supportive of each other. But there's times where I got to kind of stop and really take a gut check where I'm like, man, I have so solely focused my life on living and not dying, like hunting and staying alive, to where. Thank God for my wife, right? I mean, she's an angel because, we're getting ready to buy a house, right? And so I shouldn't even admit this on this. We go to get credit, right? Credit, I check my credit score. When would you say is the last time I had credit?
I don't know. When was the last time you had credit?
What would you take a guess of a normal human?
4 years ago?
20. So they're like, well, your debt to income ratio is great, which is unheard of. And I'm like, oh, cool. They're like, you don't have any credit. And I'm like, I got a cell phone. Like, no, you don't have any credit.
Oh, because you don't have like a leased car or you haven't had a mortgage or any of those things.
I haven't had fucking anything. And so I was like, so let me get this right. I'm not going to say how much I make, but I do good. I'm like, so my wife makes substantially less, has substantially more bills. And her credit score, she gets approved for more than I do?
Well, they want to show that you have a history of paying things back. Like I was told that early on, like to get credit, you should actually get a loan. I was like, well, wouldn't it be better if I saved money? Well, like, no, it's actually better if you spend money and pay the bills.
Well, I can tell you, I made an ass of myself at that loan office because I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, so I can go right now and buy a vehicle cash, but that's bad? And they're like, that's bad. My wife was laughing her ass off because she knew how I live like a caveman. I mean, I don't get bills. I save and I buy. Like I bought a Tundra, I paid cash for it.
But shouldn't that be healthy?
I thought it
was. That seems like it's fiscally prudent, right?
Well, you are wrong, Joe. Because I was literally, I was like, so we had to go. It's fun. So I go to, believe it or not, I go to Discount Tire. I got approved for $1,200, which is insane for what I make. And I'm like, so this is, I can get 4 tires. That's all I got. And they're like, well, you don't have any credit. And so my credit score now is like a 710.
I don't know what that means. So you have to just buy more shit with credit to get credit.
Oh, my wife went and we got a B&H photo card. We just got a bunch of cards that we could pay off. I maxed them all out so she can make payments.
It is fucking weird, isn't it, that we exist like that? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the only way people could buy houses, really, though. I mean, if you're making $100,000 a year and you want to buy a $600,000 house, that's not even possible. You'd have to, by the time you're done saving, the house would be worth more than that anyway.
Well, my wife gets a kick out of it because she knows how, obviously she's super close to me, and so she knows how my brain functions. And I'm like, why don't people just work harder and go do some side jobs, just figure shit out? Well, she's like, yeah, no, people don't do that, honey. You're weird. They put it on credit. And I'm like, well, I'll go put somebody's shower door in. I'll figure it out. Well, living your life that way for 20 years is not good.
Well, a lot of people are finding that out because of this pandemic, that living like that with credit and having high bills and paying those bills off. And that's what a lot of companies did because they thought it was the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And those companies are fucked right now because they've had no income coming in at all for 3 or 4 months, and it's going to implode. My buddy Andrew Schultz said it best. He said, this pandemic has exposed weaknesses both in people's healths and in businesses' financial health. It's exposed the flaws in the way they operate.
No, it was an eye-opener for me, and this isn't like something to be proud of that I haven't been good at adulting for 20 years, but I literally was like, oh, if I want to set up binoculars, I'll just save up and buy binoculars.
How many people contacted you to talk to you about hunting, though, once shit started getting weird?
An awkward level. And not just hunting, sustainment. Because can I'm trying to name drop a Barklow.
Yeah, John Barklow.
John Barklow works with Sitka Gear, and he and I are, if he wasn't my brother, you would have never known. Same mentality, same thought process, same ideas on gear. And I
love that guy. He's great.
We just did a podcast. He's like, are you sure this isn't going to piss anybody off? I'm like, fuck it. They need to hear it, right? And so.
What were you pissing people off with?
The reality of how life works, living in the woods, and the people that fake it, basically. Like, you know how many people, you stay out there 3 days and all of a sudden they're experts, right?
Yeah.
The reality
take a lot of photos.
Yeah, yeah. The reality of living, being able to survive and be happy, and then what you read and everything else, basically just, talking about that. So so everybody grab toilet paper, right? In third world countries, you wipe your ass with your hand. You don't worry about toilet paper. So toilet paper's gone. Wet wipes are gone. You go to the grocery store, everything that lasts forever is still there. Like you get pasta, top ramen, simple stuff. It's all on the shelves, but all these things that Americans have to have. I'm not saying I want to wipe my ass with my hand by any means, but you don't need toilet paper to survive, right? You need clean water, right? You need food. Body will last quite some time, 3 or 4 weeks without food. With water, it's a couple days. And so I'm looking at all these things leaving, and I have I'm not like a prepper by any means, but we've got crap to house. And I was, so this came story time for my wife where I'm explaining to her what would happen if everything kind of shit hits the fan and what's going to happen. And Americans are so weird with the way that we think. And so I had tons of people from what kind of gun, what kind of survival stuff, fire starter, what kind of stove. So, isobutane stoves, the canister stoves, that's the end thing. Everybody uses those. But a multi-fuel stove, when the world ends, the zombies are coming. A multi-fuel stove burns kerosene, diesel, gas, white gas, burns everything. No one uses those anymore. They're a little bit heavier. But things like that multi-fuel stove, everyone should have one of those because you can, no matter where you go, you're going to have some type of fuel to burn in that thing. So we talked a lot about that on the podcast. That was a lot of the questions I got was, sustainment, basically. So, I mean, it's a weird world we live in, but I definitely live probably in a weirder one in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wanted to know how to get a gun. Everybody wanted to know how hard is it to go hunting for the first time. Those are the questions that I got a lot. Like, how do you get a gun was a big one, and there was lines outside the L.A. gun stores. It was really crazy to see.
Well, my wife was worried about it. I'm like, honey, don't worry. I'm going to take theirs. Like, don't worry. They don't know how to use it. We're good. So,
if somebody comes trying to get your stuff.
Oh, well, with a local game warden, we text back and forth. He was like, dude, you would not believe how many people are like, I'm just going to go wait it out. Drove their asses into the mountains and set up some Walmart tent. And then a snowstorm hit. Like, this isn't a story. He's like, dude, we're pulling people out like crazy.
They were doing this in March?
Yeah.
In
Colorado. Yeah. So
oh, Jesus.
He was laughing. He's like, dude, you would not believe the amount of people that were like, I'm going to go wait this thing out in the woods. And it's like, you're camping beside the road. You're not really waiting anything out. So
people don't even understand. Once you just one night by yourself out there, and you would have a totally different understanding of like what it actually means to exist in the wilderness without assistance. And it's very scary. We're so accustomed to life with assistance, whether it's buildings or electricity or air conditioning and refrigeration and all the different things that we use, supermarkets. We're just so doughy.
Oh yeah, well,
so soft.
What's the longest you've gone without talking to somebody?
Not very long.
Jamie?
Maybe a day.
So you look at like alone. I explained to my wife. I'm like, the gear they have is enough. Right? They have enough to survive. I was like, what kills people is they are alone. They don't have that many people to talk to. Right? They don't. The fear. Think about how many people are afraid of the dark. Grown men. And then what to do if something happens. There's all that unknown. And that, to me, like, we go out for fun for 14 days, backpack in with what's on our back for 14 days, and we're choosing to do that and having fun.
What about solo? What's your longest solo trip?
14.
14 solo.
Yeah.
And boy, you better not have any fucking skeletons in your closet.
Man, I talk about this a long time. You want to talk about everything you fucked up in life by about day 7? You're like, I'm a piece of shit. I should have done more for my kid. Why didn't I? Because you have 7 days to think about everything you've done wrong. And that's one thing that people really need to understand is getting right with, which I've tried to work on a ton, is just getting right with everything in life that, up until that point, like any wrongdoings you've made, any skeletons, just try to clean them up.
Well, if you stay busy in life, you can avoid all your mistakes. You stay busy, you don't think about your mistakes. But when you're alone and you have downtime, that's when they creep into your mind.
Well, and then sleep deprivation, water deprivation, food deprivation, all of that, along with, being alone, starts to take a toll on the human mind. And it's funny, you see, same with alone, but same backpack hunt. I get thousands of emails. You know what? I'm going on my first backpack hunt, going in for 14 days. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably not going to go in 14 days, but that's your plan, right? You're going to go in about 3. Colorado loves you. You're going to donate $500 to an elk tag, and you're going to get in there, and you're going to bitch out, and you're going to head back out in about 3 days. We're going to take your money, and you're not giving it back.
Is that the average?
Yeah. 3 to 4.
So a lot of guys think they're going to be able to do it. And what gets them, you think? What's the first thing that gets them?
Other than mentally weak, right? That's the what gets them.
That's the big one, right?
Yeah, I mean, not to bring up Cam again, but he blew that up like it was fun, right?
He's
sleeping
crazy.
I have to say, he's not a gear geek, right? Cameron's just harder than woodpecker lips, right?
Yeah.
He's not a gear. When I say he's not a gear geek, he's so fucking tough. Like I talked about this in a seminar the other day. I used him as an example. He pushed this Gore-Tex bivvy, which is the worst thing in the world to sleep in. But he's so tough, he doesn't give a shit. Well, all these people are sleeping in it's a Gore-Tex coffin, right? you can hardly punch your clown in that fucking thing, let alone have fun in it. And so when weather comes in, you're in this Gore-Tex coffin, you can't do anything. Your gear.
So Gore-Tex bivy is just like basically like a sleeping bag that's made out of
Gore-Tex.
waterproof material. And you just sleep in it, and it probably has no breathability or very little.
Very little. I mean, it has some, but you get condensation in your foot box, and then if you use down, your foot box is wet. Once the down's wet, it's flat. It's no good.
It's a contractor's bag, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And I mean, they make some that are decent. But, you know, I would laugh so hard when Cam was coming up and people are reading all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you're not fucking Cam, right? Like, you know, you can think you want to be, and when you hike in, usually, you know, if you're coming from back east, right? You forums and all Facebook, whatever, all the shit you just forget, and you're packing way too much shit, right? Like gear list wise, which I can go over in a minute, but you're packing probably 30 pounds of shit you don't need.
Right.
And so then you're smoked going in, and you've watched way too much Primos videos, and you think the elk are just coming screaming in on and that fucking doesn't happen, and then you don't see them, and then my knees hurt, right? Or, I got to get back to my business. All the excuses come up, you know, and you can come up with some shit, right? I've heard some amazing excuses for coming out. The reality is you're just not tough enough. And I'm not saying that like, you know, me or Cam or Frank or whoever's tougher. But the reality is if you were mentally tough and you really wanted it, you would stay as long as.
And a lot of that mental toughness comes with experience too, I'd imagine. And it also comes with the experience of forcing your body to do tough things. You know, one of the things that Cam talks about is that he really got into endurance racing to improve his hunting.
Yeah.
When he first told me that, I thought that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. I was like, I don't even get it. Like, you're running to improve your hunt. But then once you do it for a while, you go, oh, okay, I get it. First of all, I had no idea you get that tired hunting, just hiking, just walking around the woods is fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
And then when you add a pack, especially if you're living off your back like you do, you know, just the way I do it, where if I'm staying in a lodge or, you know, I've got a tent somewhere, just carrying your stuff that you're hunting with is exhausting. But it's also something about continually and regularly pushing your body and your brain way past the point where you want to quit and doing it so that you're comfortable with being uncomfortable. And most people in everyday life are not comfortable with being uncomfortable. They never really get to that place.
If you become friends with pain, you'll never be alone. And that's what you got to look at it. Like,
yeah.
And I'm not trying to blow it out of proportion because it is fun if that's what you're into. But reality, you're looking at 2 to 7 to 8 miles in. And in Colorado, you're at 10 to 12,000 feet.
When I think about preparing for those things, besides the shit that Cam does, I think about that fucking machine that you showed me that's an incline treadmill that has barbells on the side that you lift up.
Yeah.
So you're carrying this thing where you're going up a treadmill.
Farmer carries.
What is that thing?
The Hitmill X.
Pull that shit up.
So, yeah, we have
ridiculous.
We have the name for that, which we can cuss on here. So it's called the cocksucker. Because I put 45s on either side.
The problem with that name is some people like sucking cock, and everybody likes getting their cock sucked. Nobody likes getting on that goddamn thing.
When we first got it, so how I got, which actually this leads into.
Look at that thing.
Oh, it's
so this thing, you're doing a farmer's carry uphill on a treadmill, and folks, when I tell you, just looking at this thing hurts my feelings.
So how I got that, the guy.
I have to get one of those.
The guy that's. Which I guess whatever, we can talk about this. The guy that's actually purchasing Kafaru with me, I took him on a goat hunt. The day before we went on the goat hunt, he had that downstairs. And I'm like, dude, that is like perfect. And he was like, man, get on it. So I got on it with no weight. He had 45s on either side. And I'm like, this is made for backpack hunting, right?
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably, other than actually hiking yourself, that's probably one of the best ways you could ever get in shape for that.
Well, you think about it, you look at like his little video there. So what I do is I have a 45 to 60 pound pack, and I have 2 45-pound dumbbells, and then I'll do 5-minute intervals with just the pack. And then I'll grab the dumbbells and I'll do 5 minutes of shrugs or just holding the weight up with the 45s. Then I go and I put it down to like basically a half mile an hour, and I do a truck pull. And I put my hands, and you're basically just driving forward with your body, not parallel to the ground, but just like if you were pulling a truck with a harness. Mm-hmm. And I do that, and then I do those 3 exercises in intervals for 30 minutes, and I'm pretty fucked up by the time I'm done.
That looks like, pull that picture up again, the video of that shit. That looks like one of the hardest things you could do in terms of like something you could do in a gym. If you're carrying that weight, like in that farmer's carrier, and you're going uphill on it's a self-propelled treadmill too, right?
Yep.
I have one of those outside, one of those air runners.
Yep.
I fucking love it.
Well, you can't break it is what's nice, right? When you have the self-propelled. So.
Well, it's just so hard to work on.
Yeah.
But that thing's amazing. And does it vary the pitch? Can you raise it and lower it?
You can't vary the pitch. You can just vary the resistance. So I hit the brake when I'm doing a truck pull. I drop the brake on it. And so you literally...
You can vary the resistance of the treadmill itself?
Yeah. There's a brake.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on the left side.
Oh, my God. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But one thing about stabilizer muscles, though, I would think that they don't necessarily get the same work. What if you did it with... Do you remember those shoes that they got sued for? Kim Kardashian was promoting them. They're like real fat, smushy shoes.
Yeah.
And so they made you kind of stabilize
Break
while you
your
were
ankle.
walking.
Yeah.
I would think that those actually would be good to wear on something like that because it would be... You know what a sand dune stepper is?
Yeah, they suck. Yeah, in a good way.
In a good way. Yeah. I got one out here.
Yeah, they'll burn out the.
Yeah.
They work different parts of your leg.
Yeah, right. Because you try stabilizing, right?
Yeah.
And I would imagine like having a sand dune stepper type shoe on while you are going on that thing would be the ultimate.
Well, you're right, and people do not think about that, and that's one thing that guys that just run on pavement, flat ground.
Yeah.
When you say a stabilizer muscle, whatever you want to call it, the left and right part of your shins. The first time you take a guy out that hasn't hiked side hills like 35-degree slopes with a 45-pound pack, their calves are smoked, and the left and right side of their shin bone is just toasted because they're not working those. And that lateral stability, people understand. That's why I'm not a runner, so I don't like running, but I train with a pack on and I hike everywhere. And so I do a lot of side hills just to get those muscles ready for that because it's a different world and it'll KO you. I mean, you'll be down for a couple days because they're so sore and stiff if you never used them. And that treadmill does not help with that. But when I said like that, the sand stepper sucks, it's a good suck. Because it's a way indoors you can prep. Yeah.
One of the ways I try to explain to people stabilizer muscles is upside down kettlebell press. I was like, take a kettlebell that you can press fairly easily, like a 35-pound kettlebell. Most guys can press that overhead. Now take it and flip it upside down so that the handle is on the bottom and the kettlebell is above, so you got to balance that sucker out. Yep. And as you're lifting it, it's way more difficult to do. And that's using your stabilizer muscles.
Yep.
Another thing is those bamboo bars. Have you ever used one of those?
Yeah. We put all those in. Well, some of that shit I copied from you, for my home gym. That's another one. Those you don't realize how much those kick the shit out of you till you get them.
Yeah,
they're pretty amazing.
It looks so easy, but when you got a bamboo bar, and I do it, I hang kettlebells with rubber bands. So I have like heavy resistance bands that are hanging the kettlebell, so it's all bouncy.
Yeah.
And so as you're lifting that fucker.
Yeah.
But that, really stabilizes everything. Keeps everything tight.
It's funny how much you can torture yourself with very little. I got that big rope. And my forearms, I got issues. Well, I talked to you about a tendonitis or whatever. So me doing the rope workout, I wasn't doing it. It was hurting my forearms. And so I turned that into a rope drag. I hooked one of my belts from Kafaru and hooked a harness to it, and I did that thing in half and wrapped it with Gorilla Tape, and I dragged it up and down my driveway. Fuck me, that's horrible. It's bad. But when I say bad, when you've kind of committed your life to backpack hunting, there's only so many ways that you can get ready. You just got to beat the shit out of yourself.
To get ready.
To get ready. So, people think I'm crazy. We live at 10,000 feet. My wife drops me off the highway, and then she goes home and cooks dinner. She goes with me a lot, too. But
how far is the walk?
Anywhere from 2 to 5 miles, depending on where she drops me off. And it's gain a couple thousand feet. It's a climb. It sucks. But the best way, if you're not feeling like working out, is have your wife leave you in the middle of nowhere because you're fucking getting home, right?
Right. Necessity.
Yeah, necessity. And so when people don't, I try to put myself in a position to where I have to do something, if that makes sense. Because there's days you just don't feel like doing shit. I mean, right? So I just make my wife drop me off, and I'll tell her, I would say earn my day. I'm like, I got to earn my day, and I keep track of my steps on my watch. And so she'll drive my ass to the bottom of that fucker with 50 pounds, and she'll laugh leaving.
I always tell people one of the best ways to make sure you do something is have a list. Just have a list of what you got to do today. Just make sure you're doing it. Just write it down. It seems so crazy, but if you don't have a list, if you don't have it written down what you absolutely have to do, man, you're going to slack off. You're going to find reasons why you should do less, or especially if you do like what I do is when I lift, I train myself for the most part. You know, sometimes I work with trainers. I work with a kickboxing trainer now, but most of my weightlifting sessions I do by myself. So I have to write out what I need to do.
Yeah.
And if I don't do that, I mean, then I feel like a pussy.
Yeah.
But if I have it written down, like today you're running 2 miles in the hills.
Yeah.
Today you're doing this. Today you're doing that. If I don't do that, it's you're not going to get it done. If you could just give yourself a manageable goal to start with. Just real simple. Make sure, like, for every day this week, you're going to do 40 push-ups. You're going to do 50 sit-ups. You're going to just give yourself some kind of manageable goal. Get a chin-up bar. Do 20 chin-ups every day. Just do that. That's a manageable thing. Like, you can do that in 30 minutes. You can have all that done, and you're good. But if you force yourself to do that every day, man, you're going to feel real results. Like at the end of the week, you're going to go, fuck, I did it. And then you ramp it up some more. But it's all about writing it down.
Yeah, I got a whiteboard. And
Yeah.
in fact, I wrote something on the whiteboard once, and a bunch of people, I think you and Jocko did a podcast, because the one day I just wrote on there, just do something. Right?
Yeah.
And I think you guys must have done a podcast and talked about that. Because people, I mean, I know not everybody has a free schedule, but even when I worked construction, you can make time. Most people can make time. Now, I don't sleep that much, which isn't a good thing, but
How many hours you get a night?
I recently got up to 6, which is pretty good for me. I was at 4 for a long time.
Damn.
Yeah, but if you heard my day, right,
Is it because you want to sleep 4? I mean, were you getting up early, or is it just you have insomnia?
I have insomnia. I just don't sleep. I go to sleep well. I just don't sleep for that long. And now it's
When you wake up, is you waking up with something bothering you in your head, or you just, fuck, I'm awake?
I'm just like, fuck, I'm awake and I got a lot to do. And so, but it's gotten better to where I've been tracking it on the watch. I think you got a G-Shock there. That's what I used to wear. This is one of those ones, tracks my steps and calories and everything. So
Is that a Garmin?
yeah, it's the fuck is this thing? Phoenix 6 Solar, I think.
Does that work on solar power?
It helps it. Yeah, it helps with battery life. So I did not like the original because they died pretty quickly. Most
Batteries,
of the
right.
batteries. This one lasts almost like 3-4 weeks.
Really?
So, and the way that I navigate off an UTM grid coordinate, I don't need to leave it on very long. So it works. I can use it for a long time.
So that work with navigation, how long will it last?
Man, if you left it on, I would think, man, 3 or 4 days maybe.
Really? So in that 3 or 4 days, it's supplementing with solar? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Supplements with
Wow.
solar. So
That's fucking amazing.
So the way that I, navigate, which actually going back to the board, I can't agree with you more. Like I just write shit down, and it may be 3 sets of 50 crunches, 3 sets of 50 push-ups.
Just make sure you do it.
Yeah, and then check them off the list,
Yep.
right? And those are the days when I say I don't want to do anything. Those are the days my ass is getting dropped off the bottom of the hill because you fucking have to do something. Then
Yeah.
you're going to get home. But with the way that I navigate, and I give people crap about this all the time, right? You got a watch and a Garmin InReach and a GPS. You got all kinds of shit to navigate, and you don't know how to fucking use it. That's like a big pet peeve of mine. You got all this technology. You hit the easy button on everything. You never learned how to use it. And so I'm like a real stickler on land nav, like learning how to navigate to a certain degree and not just using a GPS. And so what I do is I use an 8 or 10 digit UTM grid coordinate and a map. And
What does that mean?
So the way the world was mapped, basically, and I'll try to explain as easy as I can, from top to bottom, there's lines drawn around it, spaced. And then there's horizontal lines drawn around it. And each one of those is a square. And as you break that down in squares, you end up with a 1,000-meter grid square. This is like a very plain Jane way to explain it. Inside of that grid square, when I turn this on, it tells me inside of that grid square how far I am from left to right and how far I am from bottom to top, so easting and northing. And so inside that 1,000-meter grid square, my pinpoint location is a 10-digit grid coordinate within 3 meters of my location. So anyway, once it gives me that, I can plot out and up to where I am inside that grid square on my map and gives me my exact location. So What it means is if I'm all fucked up and I have no idea where I'm on, I just turn on my watch and it tells me, and then I plot it out on my map. And then if I'm lost,
okay, so it shows you on your watch, and then you just look down at the map to save power. But you actually know how to use a compass and navigate and actually use a map.
yeah, exactly.
That's
on a
lost
map,
skill.
you'll have all these different grid squares.
Okay.
And so
You're
this is
for people just listening, he's drawing stuff right now on paper.
so if it's 1,000 meters over and 1,000 meters up, 1,000-meter box.
Okay.
So if I take a line and I'm 700 meters easting or to the right, so I go over 700 meters, and then I'm 300 meters up, I go up 300 meters where those intersect.
So then you know where you are on the
where
map.
I'm at. And so what people don't understand, like if you talk about intersection and resection, if you're lost, so let's say, Jamie, you ever been in the woods very much? Sure. So you're out and you don't know where you're at, but you know two known points. So meaning you can see a mountain over here and here, and you know what those are, and you have a map. From where you're at, you can shoot an azimuth to the top of this mountain.
What's an azimuth?
You take your compass, and it's the basically out of the 360 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
It's the azimuth or the direction of that mountain from where you're at. So you take that, and then you do a back azimuth, and you draw a line from the top of that mountain backwards. So if it's over 180, you subtract. If it's under 180, you add.
So you look at it and say, okay, that's northeast, and so then you look behind yourself, and you go, that's southwest.
Nope. So if I'm lost, but I don't know where I'm at, but I know this mountain and I know this one, and I shoot this, azimuth with my compass, and I know. So right now, this is 90 degrees, so that's about 45 degrees. So that is under 180, so I add to it. And so 180 plus 45 is what, 225. So now I go to, on my map, the top of this mountain, and I do an azimuth, and that azimuth is going to be 225, which from the top mountain is going to cross my exact location.
And are you writing this stuff on the map, or are you just looking at it?
Yep, I'll write it on a map, and I go to this mountain, I do the exact same thing, and where those two lines cross is my exact location.
When you draw on your map, do you use a marker? Do you use a highlighter? Like, how do you do it?
I have an erasable pen I keep with me. It's just a little like a Sharpie erasable pen, and I have a protractor. Anyway, just because this is a course that takes weeks to actually learn how to do it.
Is this from the military, these skills?
I learned this originally when I was on that trail crew team, and then I learned more and more and more when I was in the military. I went through some land nav schools, and what they do is they drop you off and they give you two 10-digit or 8-digit grids. One's where you're at and one's where you're going, and then you have to plot from. I'm going to lose you here in a minute. You're like, this is boring as fuck, because it is. But you're going to have two. You have to convert it from. Basically, there's different norths from where you're at. There's a grid north and a magnetic north. Anyway, before we get really fucking boring here, once you learn how to do that, you're never lost. You can train associate. You can and so I'm a real stickler on using all of those things. So I've taught my wife how to do it. It's not that difficult. Once you get going, as far as
so this is something you learned when you were really young, when you were cutting trees.
Yeah, 14.
So you learned it then, and then you learned more. Have you been formally trained in this stuff, or is it just
in the military, I was formally trained, and I went to a class, but I was so young I can barely remember when I was working for the Forest Service. And then now I teach courses for this, because the ability to get where you're going is kind of lost now, because you just turn on a GPS or you use Basemap or Onyx or whatever.
Right.
But the reality is navigating if you're in a hurry. So if you and I, were in the woods and we needed to get to a basin before dark, you're going to have handrails and catching features. You're going to have, if you can look at that map and see it in a 3-dimensional way, and I can grab my compass and say, hey, if we head northeast, the whole way half-ass, we're going to hit this creek, and that creek's going to intersect with a trail. I don't have to use my compass anymore, really. I'm going to shoot an azimuth, and I'm going to look at the farthest point I can see to where we need to go, that I'm going to be able to see the whole way. And that compass is going to go in my pocket. We're going to haul ass. Eventually, we're going to hit a creek somewhere, but generally where that creek's at, let's say a trail crosses it, there's a handrail and a catching feature there. Anyway, this is boring shit.
But it's not.
I can get there quick.
But what's interesting is, like, very few people know how to do this, and this is a critical skill if you do get lost, and a lot of fucking people get lost in the woods. One of the things that you were talking about on your podcast once that I never really took into consideration was the fact that a lot of binocular holders harnesses have magnets on them.
Yep.
A lot of people love those. Like I've got one of those marsupial
gear.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
But those can fuck with your compass.
Yeah, you definitely have to hold it out. He was giving me shit because we partnered up with him because he said my sales went down from you, dickhead. And I was like, dude, it's got to be said, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's got to be said. Otherwise, people are going to die.
well, it's funny because I have a compass I keep a compass with me all the time.
Do
I
you
have
really?
one, yeah, it's fucking weird. I know. When I had a G-Shock, I had a compass beside
On the
it,
watch.
on the watch.
Yeah.
Beside it, a little Sunto. The thing is like when I was hunting Outdad in Texas, I don't know where the fuck I'm at, right? It's Texas, right? And we're on these huge. It's North Texas, so it's like big plateaus and that. Did you see that Paladero Canyon where we were at? It's like the
No.
Grand Canyon. It's fucking crazy. So, where we are, these guys have lived there their entire lives, and they're like, oh, it's northeast of where you're at. I guarantee they know where northeast. They've farmed it their whole lives. Where I'm like, fuck, the fucking sun's not up, the clouds are out. Which way's northeast? Well, there's northeast. So I just have always, carried, always have a compass with me. But being lost when you're young and almost dying, that'll help you probably want to learn too. Because when I was super young, wearing cotton and shit and snowing and rain in Oregon and
You got lost?
oh fuck yeah, I almost died twice.
Really?
Got
How
stuck
old were
out
you?
overnight. 11 the first time.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You were by yourself?
Well, now I don't want to make this sound way worse than it was. I was a dipshit, and I was with my dad. He's probably drinking with his buddies, and I went after a deer and got all fucked up, and I couldn't find my way back.
Whoa. When you were 11?
Yeah,
Oh, my God. I have a 12-year-old daughter. I can't even imagine.
oh man, my poor mom, right, dealing with the shit that she had to deal with me because I was backpacking when I was super young, right, like backpacking all over the place, and I've always liked to do it. So you can imagine nowadays, like if my daughter at 15 said, hey, I'm going to go on a 4-day backpacking trip into the wilderness. I'd be
What?
like, well, fuck me. Can I go? Right?
Yeah.
Where with my mom had to deal with a lot of that as a kid. I was always super adventurous.
I just think that feeling of not knowing if you're going to survive and then surviving, I don't want my kids to have that, but goddamn, that's invaluable.
Well,
right?
I tell you, we talk about it all the time. That's one of the reasons I have so much respect for a guy like Frank or Jake. They have no fear of anything. When you get to the point where there's no mountain, truly, no mountain too high, no valley too whatever fucking that saying is, there's nothing that stops you. You will get out. And most people lack that. Meaning, if you've backpacked in, 6 miles, and as long as you can get the animal out, especially mule deer, you can pack it out, and you see a mule deer 2.5, 3 more miles in, and you have you're like, oh yeah, it's like going to 7-Eleven. We're going, right? There's not, and this is normal for any backpack company. I'd say Cam would say the same thing. There's nothing we can't get to. There's nothing we worry about. We have enough gear. It's a cool feeling, I mean, I don't think about it anymore, but it's definitely helped put some animals on the ground.
Well, it's also, there's a mindset that the hardcore backpack hunter has that they look forward to those challenges and overcoming those challenges. And then when those things happen, it's something that you have prepared for. So it's actually like almost like a positive experience.
Yeah.
And then you get out and you tell people, how far in with you? 9 miles. Wow. Did you pack it out in one trip? Oh, it was a big fucker. We had to take it twice. And I mean, I know a lot of guys have ruined their body doing that too, though. I know quite a few guys that have sustained injuries with a heavy pack.
Dude, I have like crazy stories. When one of our buddies, it was he and I, and he killed an elk, and we were 7.5 miles in, and anyway, he got on the ground.
Yikes.
Well, he's a younger guy, and we split it in half, and it was downhill the whole way. And I know I can pack you for infinite amount of time downhill. So I'm like, fuck it, it's downhill. I didn't want to come back. So we're having our little hobnob meeting that next morning. We're getting ready to go out. And that night I ate everything I possibly could, like drank water all night. And I picked up the pack, and I'm like, I think we can make it. Fuck it. If we can't, we'll just leave some of it on the trail, come back up. So I had 178 pounds legit. We weighed it in the truck.
Oh, my God.
And he had 184.
Oh, my God.
So on the way down, these aren't bullshit. This fucking probably took 10 years off my life. So we go on the way down, and I took his bow, and he took my walking sticks, and we're bushwhacking for the first 2 to the trail. And Frank and I went and reenacted this because I'm like, dude, I got to go see how bad this was, because I was in fucking spirit world like half the time. Dude, it was bad. And so Frank and I redid it, and we marked it out, and it was actually plus or minus right in that 7 mile range. So we get to the trail. I'm like, look, dude, I'm not leaving you behind. But I'm fucking leaving you behind. I can't go this slow. I'm like, I'll get to the truck. I'll turn around and come back and grab you because I was fucking hurting bad. And I called my buddy. You probably seen him on there. He's actually, I can't say his name. He's a SF dude. I call him. I'm like, dude, I need a pickup. I need you to come help us out. And he's hardcore motherfucker. He's like, yeah, I'll be up. Let me talk to my wife. I'll be up there. So I passed him on the way out on the trail, and I thought like a half mile to go because I could hear the highway. And he's like, dude, you got like a mile and a half. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, can you make it? I'm like, oh, I'm fucking making it. Like, it's mind games now. Like, I'm not letting this beat me. And I'm like, but you got to go ahead and get my buddy. He's fucked up. So I get to the trailhead. I get the pack off. I'm laying in my underwear under the truck. And if I had an IV, I would have gave myself one. There's hikers. It was awkward, right? There's hikers, but I was like, fuck it. I'm done. So I'm just trying to get under the truck was in the shade and the wind was blowing. So I'm laying there literally just sprawled out 4 points to compass trying to cool off because I was worried about getting heat stroke. I get hydrated, and thank God, my buddy went and helped my other buddy. Anyway, he gets back and he's like, dude, he was fucked up. And I'm like, how bad? He was like, when I got there, now keep in mind my buddy did not know he had help coming. So he's on his hands and knees on the wrong side of the trail looking for water, and the creek's on the other side of the trail, and you can hear it.
Oh, my
So this
God.
is how... And again, I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion. It just happens, right? You start talking about cognitive skills, dehydration, and everything. So my buddy's like, hey, dude, what's 4 plus 4? Like, he's checking him. He's a medic. He's a 18 Delta. He's a medic. And he was fucked up. He hadn't eaten anything. He hadn't drinking water. His brain wasn't working right. And so that's just one example of how fucked up you can get from, you got to be careful. Like, you can do damage to your
How
body.
long did that hike out take?
I did about a mile an hour coming out.
Wow, so 7-ish.
About, yeah, it was bad.
Fuck.
But I'd give you an,
That's so long.
I could, man, when I was with Pinch, he's the sniper guy. He shot his goat he was one of those dudes who wanted to shoot it at 40 and in with a bow or 1,000 and out with a gun. I can't remember the exact yardage, but it was over 1,000 yards. So he shoots this thing across this glacier. It took us 6 hours to go 11 or 1,400 yards straight line distance to a point where I'm like, we're going to fucking die getting down to this thing. Like, at one point in time, I slid down, and of course, I'm a dick. My knees slam into my face, and I'm like, we're all good. Come on down. I don't want to be the only one in pain, right? Here comes everybody else sliding down, and Pinch is like, are we going to get out of this? I'm like, well, we don't have a fucking choice now. We slid down it. We got to get back up, right? And so we didn't get back till 2 o'clock in the morning, and we were still 4 miles in. So when people, like the idea of backpacking hunting, that's what they're liking, is the idea of it. Because Cam glamorized the shit out of it. It's
But again,
fucking painful.
He's not a normal human. You can't go by his standards,
No.
or his ideas. They say that sheep hunting's the hardest. They say that like Alaska sheep hunting, in terms of like just the difficulty of the terrain and the dangers of it.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Somewhat, yeah. I would say I've only been on a couple sheep hunts in Alaska, right? Most of mine have been in the lower 48 or the NWT, the Northwest Territories. The thing with Alaska that's easy is you're not gaining that much altitude. Distance is far. But the weather is bad. Like, generally the weather's pretty bad. And then the amount of pressure now, and again, I'm not an expert on Alaska, the pressure is much worse than it's ever been in Alaska.
In terms of the amount of hunters.
Hunters, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of hunters out there.
Yep.
And then animals, grizzlies and shit.
Yeah, which is a fucking real. You've seen us get charged on video, I think.
Yes.
haven't you? Yeah.
When you were with the Gritty Bowman, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Tell
that
I'm an
story.
adrenaline junkie. I'll tell a true story
Okay.
because it's not. I thought we were calling him moose, and I'm like looking, and I'm like, I think there's a moose coming, and a grizzly pops out. I'm like, hey, get your camera. Let's call this thing in. This is a true story, right? Because we made it sound like it was. Oh, here comes a grizzly. So I thought it was going to get to that fucking stump and stop, right?
You called the grizzly in on
He
purpose?
was coming into a moose call, right? So
Oh, no.
I'm like, hey, grab the cameras. Let's get this on video, because he was looking for our moose calls. So this big bitch gets by that log, and she stands up, and she's looking around, and I'm like, oh, cool. And you can hear my shutter on the video. Fuck, it hit the ground, and it was coming. And I'm like, oh. Well, and immediately, I've been charged enough to where I'm an adrenaline junkie anyway. I'm desensitized, and I'm like, well, he's going to eat fucking this other dude anyway. So I'm like, you can see my camera shifting right a little as I'm taking these photos. I didn't have a weapon, I had a bow. And so here pretty quick, I'm thinking, shoot this motherfucker. It's like 15 yards from us.
Oh, my God.
He fired off a round at its feet, and I knew his gun jammed on the second round sometimes. So I'm like, oh, that fucking piece of shit Browning 8-bolt doesn't jam on this second one or whatever it was, right? Not saying a Browning's bad. Well, it stopped, do you remember? And it came again. Mm-hmm. I think it was like 10 yards when it finally turned off and ran away. But
10 yards is nothing.
Well, I tell you, like...
That's almost like that wall.
Yeah, it was big, too. It's a big one. But
was that in BC?
Yeah, that was in BC. In reality, though, you talk to... bring up the Lancasters who I went with when I stayed in the NWT for that 2-month time frame. Mm-hmm. Those guys live up there. I bet if you asked a Bart or a Clay Lancaster how many times they've been bluff charged, it's like triple digits. Like, just hunting with those guys, the shit that they've done.
Triple digits, meaning 100 times?
At a minimum.
Oh,
and
my God.
So, like the shit those guys deal with, they've been doing it since birth, right? And so I was telling like Amy and Frank, I was like, okay, you guys know how much I've done and all the different things, hunted and how many animals I've put on the ground. It's a fraction. Clay Lancaster's been on 320 sheep hunts. 320.
That's a lot.
That's not including caribou, moose. He's been all over the world. So the amount of experience those guys have and the stories, like when I get those guys on the podcast, it's hilarious because I just got to experience the 2.5 month section of it. We were literally from a light bulb, from a paved road, hours from any electricity. Like it's a 12-hour drive to where the helicopter picks you up, and then you're flown in another 2 hours. So when I got bit by that bite, it was funny, by that spider. It was funny at first.
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I fucking got bit by a spider up there. And I'm like, hey, Clay, my leg's fucked up. I think I got bit by something. He's like, there's nothing poisonous up here. Well, I about fucking died. My leg swelled up, and we're drawing circles around it. Well, the first couple circles, right, wasn't that big of a deal. So Clay cuts it open. And listen to the podcast. He's hilarious because he squeezed that thing, and I acted like it didn't hurt. I thought I was going to pass out from fucking shock. So
squeeze the pus out?
Yeah. I don't know that it helped, but it gave him pleasure.
What kind of spider was it?
Man, you got to listen to the podcast to hear the whole story, but we ended up calling it the long-cock black hobo spider, and there's a story beside that. But I think it was a hobo spider.
Those are dangerous.
Yeah, but I don't think they're overly poisonous. I think I was allergic to it. But the moral of the story, in 6 hours, my leg locked up straight. There was veins going up towards my heart, and I had cold sweats. Heart rate was racing. And Clay's like, dude, we got to get you out of here. You're going to fucking die. Like, we are a long, long, long ways from anywhere.
How far?
4-hour helicopter ride, but then you're dealing with some fucked up
Jesus
doctor
Christ.
in the northern part of fucking Whitehorse, or where
Some
the fuck it
voodoo
was.
doctor.
It wouldn't have been good. So I called my buddy who's a medic, and I was like, dude, what should we do? And he's like, all right, piss on it, bleach, ibuprofen, fucking
Bleach?
get some shit. Yeah, because I guess like bleach cleans everything out. Like he's giving me, I can't remember all the
So
stuff.
Trump was right?
I don't know what's exactly. But I was like, holy shit. I was like, okay, so we're pouring pee on it. We're like crushing up ibuprofen. And
Do you pour pee on it? Did you let your buddy pee on it?
so here's the thing. One of my buddies
that's where it
must
gets
have
weird.
had a Big Johnson because he was ready to pee on it right there. And I'm like, dude, pee in a fucking bottle. I don't want to see your wiener while you're peeing on my leg. And so
You wouldn't want it right off the tap? Somehow or another, it's better if he pees in a bottle and then pours it on you?
it would have been awkward. And think of the stories that would have been told after about
Yeah, but
getting
it'd be
peed
funny
on.
stories.
Well, either way, we were pouring pee on my leg.
But if it was a matter of survival, isn't that funny that you'd rather have a guy pee in a bottle and then pour that pee on you than pee on you?
I guess looking at it that way,
It's
yeah.
weird. I get it. I feel I'm right there with you.
Oh.
I understand your thought process.
Well,
I think I'd let the guy piss on me though.
At the time, I was like not overly worried, and then when my leg locked up, it if you measured my leg, it gained 2.25 in circumference inches. That's how much my leg swelled up.
Oh, wow.
So
That's a lot.
yeah, it was. I mean, I'm laughing about it now, but what was funny is once it went back down, we just duct taped towels around my calf muscle to go on moose hunts because it was so fucking painful when the infection was going down because the willows were beating it up, and I'm like, I really want to see some of these 70-inch wide moose. Let's just take. So we taped towels around my calf.
So you never made it out of there?
No.
So you just dealt with it while you were in the woods?
Yeah, it went away in like 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't.
But you didn't think it was going to. You thought you were going to die.
I don't want to make it sound worse than it was. It got a little nerve-wracking there towards the end. My fucking heart started racing, like, and I'm like, yeah,
So your body's
that's not good.
Whenever you have an infection, infections are fucking dangerous, man.
Well, I had veins going up my leg.
like you can see the veins, that you're saying?
That's what when Clay was talking about it because I was
Because
maybe
of
I tried
course
to,
you have veins going up your leg. That's how you get blood.
yeah, and it showed them a lot. So
So they were blue or something?
looked like an Etch-a-Sketch going up my leg.
dark.
Yeah, dark.
So you were worried that the infection was making its way to your heart.
Well, from what limited knowledge I had was that is a pretty much sure thing you're gonna fucking die.
Do
That's
you
when
carry
I got nervous.
any antibiotics with you or anything when you go into a hunt like that?
I do when I go to Canada now because of their weird government. I shouldn't even say this. I have friends that'll prescribe them to me to take with me. Now, last in 18, I don't even remember. My hands looked like Deadpool's face from that milkweed or some shit. Shit that happens in the backcountry.
What happened?
So I'm on that mule deer hunt, and my hands are swelling up, and I don't know why. And they look like Deadpool's face. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with my hands? I'm looking around like, what could be around me? It's not poison ivy, and my hands are swelling up like, remember that movie Big Trouble in Little China?
Yeah.
The Asian dude's hands swell up. And
Yeah.
it looked like that. Well, as it turns out, it's hogweed or milkweed. I don't know, some fucking plant that does that. And if you Google it and you pull it up, it's fucking nasty. But if you want to Google hogweed on certain humans, it has this crazy rash inflammation. So my hands, it's affected by sunlight. It's worse. So I'm at 13,000 feet and I'm on the spotter with my hands in the sun all day. To a point like...
And at 13,000 feet, the sun is way stronger.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you get really burnt up there.
use a solar charger, it charges up your shit twice as fast because you're that close to the sun.
Is that really what it's from, or is it just a lack of... Oh, my God. Look at that giant hogweed. Look at the hands.
It wasn't good, let me tell you. So my
Holy
hands
shit,
look
dude.
like those ones in the middle.
Blow that picture up in the right-hand corner. That is crazy. The one that you see, the large picture. Yeah, look at that. What the fuck, man? That's from hogweed?
So go to the left. The one in the middle there. That's what my hands look like.
The one in the middle. The left. Yeah.
That one. Yep. They look like that. So Frank comes over and he's like, dude, what the hell is wrong with your hand? I'm like, that's a good question. So we come out because I dude, it was bad. And I go to
so nasty.
the doctor, right? And I'm like, I go to the emergency room and I'm like, hey,
What does that hogweed look like, just so I know?
I mean,
It says some people have gotten 3rd-degree burns from it.
Whoa.
it's not good.
Can we see an image?
Yeah, it just looks like a little plant. I mean,
Yeah.
That's it? That stuff? That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I was low crawling through that shit to
Oh,
go to
my
a mule deer.
God.
So-
Giant hogweed and its toxic cousins. Wow, that's crazy.
So, but those are the things you just don't think about, right? So I went and they gave me, I don't know, all kinds of steroid cream and shit, and it went away in a day or two, and we hiked back in.
It just looks like a flower. I would have never imagined.
I wouldn't
So this
either.
is just... How did it get on both your hands? Your hands just rubbed up against it?
Well, you figure there's big fields of it, and I've got my bow hanging, and I'm low crawling, and just like it would any weed.
So to mitigate that, what do you do? Do you wear gloves? Is there something you can put on your hands?
I don't know. I just
Look how fucking tall that shit is.
I just kept my hands out of the weeds the next year.
Oh, my God. Toxic giant hogweed plants show up in Duncan Lake. I don't know. You just made it too big. Lake Cowichan Gazette.
Yeah.
Where's that? Duncan?
I don't know.
Look at the size of that. It's like fucking 9 feet tall.
It wasn't that tall where I was at. It was 3 foot tall, right about even with your hands. So
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
So just that weed has like some sort of an oil or something like that?
That's what they said. The
Like a
doctor.
poison ivy type deal?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when I went, they had no idea. I'm like, hey, my buddy from Alaska messaged me, and he said, dude, I think that's hogweed. I'm like, what? I had the same reaction you did. What the fuck is hogweed? Googled it, drove across the road, Kaiser's, whatever, emergency room, things like right across the road from Kafaru. I drove over there and I'm like, hey, I'm all screwed up. And they're like, what it, they don't know what it is. And I'm like, hey, this is what I think it is. They Googled it just like we did. And they were like, oh, well, that makes sense because they didn't know. And then they gave me like this steroid cream to put on it. And I don't know, went away in a couple days.
Jesus Christ. So between that and the bite, what was worse?
Oh, the bite.
The bite was that much worse.
I could have kept hunting with that. I just not knowing what it was. Well, we'd been in there 12 days. I'm like, it's about time to come out anyway. So we came out. What was crazy, we came out a couple days. We go back in, and Frank's already got his deer. We go back in, and Frank, I thought his appendix burst. As it turns out, he just ate too much sushi, and it got clogged up in his stomach. But Frank is harder than woodpecker lips. We get on these 2 deer we're trying to get, and he's not getting out of the tent. And so Frank is not like that. And he's like, I hear him go, sir, I'm going to stay in the tent this morning. And I'm like, dude, you good? Now, keep in mind, Frank got pulmonary edema, and that dumb shit hiked out with pulmonary edema. He literally, his lungs filled up with liquid.
And that's an altitude sickness, right?
Altitude sickness. And that fucker hiked out 9 miles with pulmonary edema.
Jesus Christ.
When he got back, he'd cough, and it was like emptying a water bottle. So he's a tough individual. So I'm like, dude, this guy. I even texted Amy. I'm like, hey, Frank's fucked up. I might have to hit the beacon. Like I might have to get help.
Out.
So anyway, I go over. I shoot this deer.
So it was just sushi?
I guess.
So where did you guys eat sushi? In Denver the day before?
So I think what had happened, we had starved ourselves for 12 days, right? Dehydration, and he must have ate in the woods. We came out. We all went out to dinner, and I think he ate all that white rice, and it just clung to his intestines like a woolly mammoth because he ended up just having to take a big poop, right? But in the middle where, your appendix is, he's like, it hurts right here. And I've had gallbladder issues. I passed a kidney stone like 6 miles in. Ow. So I was like, his appendix is erupt. He's going to die back here. And so it's to show you how the moxie that Frank has. He drug his ass out of that tent and filmed me shooting that mule deer, and he hobbled his ass over there after I shot it, and it's a fucking 1.5 miles from where he's glassing, flagging me in, and he just sat by the deer. I cut it up, whatever, and I'm like, dude, I'll get most of it. You good? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I'm like, I can tell you're not fucking okay. Like you're in pain. And he made it out, and then he took a giant poop, and everything was okay. But I thought he was gonna have to hit the beacon.
That's so bizarre that it was just from rice and poop.
Well, we're not doctors, but that's what I chalked it up to.
Yeah,
he
maybe
was
food poisoning. You sure it wasn't food poisoning?
He wasn't puking. That was the only thing. But again, I'm not a doctor. But every time I've had it, I've puked.
So those are the worst experiences. What about injuries? You ever get like really hurt out there?
I'm trying to think. The kidney stone, that was a bad one.
You had to piss that out?
Oh fuck, that was horrible.
How big was it?
I didn't know. I'll tell the quick version of it. I think I was 10 days into a hunt, and I shot a mule deer.
Were you dehydrated?
Fuck yeah, I was dehydrated, and I peed blood, and of course, like an idiot, and I'm like, it's fine, whatever. And hiked the mule deer out, turned around, I met a buddy, dropped it off, and then hiked back in. And then like that night or the night after, I was it was pretty high elevation. But anyway, I went after this bull, and something like knocked loose in my kit. I didn't know what it was. Just all of a sudden, I had this shooting pain. And I looked at that dude on the Green Mile trying to pee, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm like, I'm going to pass out from shock. What the hell is wrong with me?
Did you think it was a kidney stone?
I didn't know, right? I didn't, it was so much pain in my back area that I knew it had something to do with my kidneys. But every time I tried to pee, I literally would drop me to my knees. And so I was like, okay, let's assess this. And I'm trying to think through, should I take next to no gear and try and hike out, take enough gear to stay the night, but then have the burden of the weight. What's going to be the best option? Because I didn't have any service, and I didn't have I didn't have anything back with me that I could get a hold of anyone. And so I'm like, fuck it, no guts, no glory. I grabbed the basic essentials and hobbled my ass out. And at one point, I did have a phone, but I didn't have service. I texted my buddy Tony and said, hey, what is the nearest hospital to this trailhead? And I lost service. And so all he knew was I'm fucked up.
Right.
So I get to the trailhead and I get in my Jeep, and I had a giant Jeep, and I'm doing like 90 down the road, and I get pulled over. Well, the cop was looking for me because my buddy had called and said, I don't know what's going on. He's somewhere. Well, the cop was kind of a dick, right? I get out, and I'm like, hey, man, he wanted to call an ambulance. And I'm like, look, dude, I just hiked out 6 miles. I'm not paying $3,500 for a fucking ambulance ride. I just hiked 6 miles out. I can make it to the hospital. And so he was a little bit of a dick, but he followed me into the hospital, and I passed it, I don't know,
Clink.
30 in the toilet. It was tink, tink, tink. And it looked
Did
like
you
a
save
chickapee. No, but it would look like a chickapee.
Oh, like a chickpea? Like one of
Yeah,
them?
little spiky little bastard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was horrible looking.
How big was it?
Not very big.
Big
smaller
enough
than
for
a BB.
Your dick hole.
Holy moly,
Anything
man!
going through that.
What was crazy is right after that, I was good to go. I mean, once
Really?
you passed it, I was fine. I hiked back in the next day.
A lot of fighters get those from dehydration from weight cuts. It's, I think Jose Aldo has gotten those before. I think more than one fighter has gotten those from weight cuts.
I think what they told me, a buddy of mine's a doctor. When I was roided out, I was taking in a lot of protein and different things. That there was a calcium buildup from that or something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Some people get them apparently from drinking too many green smoothies. You should be careful. I believe that. Which one is Thor? Chris Hemsworth? His brother. His brother had to quit being a vegan, and that's one of the reasons why. Because he was passing these stones, and he had to wind up getting surgery. Here it goes. Australian actor Liam Hemsworth told Men's Health that he had to completely rethink his vegan diet after undergoing surgery for a kidney stone. Some foods are high in substances called oxalates, which can increase the risk of kidney stones. These include spinach, potatoes, nuts, and even chocolate.
There you go.
Yeah, I've heard of it from kale, too.
I ate a lot of kale.
I rethunk my raw kale smoothies. I was drinking a lot of kale smoothies in the morning. And then I found out about the dangers of oxalates, and I was like, oh. So
Yeah.
I thought I was doing healthy.
Yeah. Well, whatever mine came from, it was an eye-opener because that shit hurt. But I've been pretty lucky. As far as injuries and nothing, IT band syndrome issue, normal shit, right? I mean, nothing too crazy.
No blown out knees out there or anything?
Knees are great. Shoulders are great.
That's what would scare the fuck out of me. Blowing out a knee in the backcountry, and you got to figure out a way to get in.
Yeah, I like knock on wood. I haven't had to. I mean, I've been in some hairy situation on cliffs where storms rolled in, blacked out, and just had to hunker down in like a cave, right, and just wait it out. But nothing horrible. Your kidney stone was bad, but really, like some of the things you'd think that would happen. If I die back there, it's probably not going to be from a bear. I'm probably going to fall off a cliff. Like that's the one thing that I would guess would happen.
That's how Cam's buddy Roy died.
Yeah,
On a sheep hunt.
Serious. That one there is probably worse than any. The chances of having a bear eat you is so slim, but lightning and cliffs are probably the worst ones.
Yeah, lightning is another fucking scary one, huh? Like that's a normal experience out there. There's lightning storms.
Yeah, and in that one area, the Sangre de Cristos is a mountain range, and it's like scientifically worse there because of the heat from the ground and the cold from above. The lightning storms there, we go down there just to photograph them.
What do you do if you're in a lightning storm? Do you get near trees? Because if you get near trees, what if the trees get hit?
I'm going to give you horrible advice. I don't do shit. I just get in my tent and do my thing.
Really? So when there's a lightning storm, you just lay in your tent and hope it doesn't hit you?
Well, I mean, the reality of it is as they blow over, you may be causing, and I'm not an expert at this. It's just if it's my time, it's my time. So I just get in and I listen to an audiobook and try and pretend it's not there. And that is probably horrible advice, but the reality is my buddy.
What audiobook would you listen to when you're almost dying from a lightning storm?
The Crow Killer, Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh, damn, you're getting serious mountain man.
Yeah, I'd listen. That one helps me go to sleep. That dude's voice is what helps me go to sleep. So, but my buddy, which I don't know if I can say his name because he's on an ODA team, him and his buddy, this fucking guys get hit with lightning in the spot where we killed a bull, and he texts me. And he said something about this reminded me of, I think he got hit with an RPG or something. And I'm like, well, dude, are you good? That's a hell of a build-up to a story with no finish, right? He's got scars where the lightning came out of that's where it entered, and then it blew the front of his buddy's shoe out.
What?
Fucking, they hiked out.
Hit him in the back and blew his buddy's shoe off.
Because they hit them both at the same time. And so I would guess they were probably more trained than I was, and whatever they did didn't work. So anymore, Frank and I just hunkered down and I listened to an audiobook.
Remy Warren got hit with lightning in high school, if I remember correctly. And I think he lost his sense of smell.
No shit.
Yeah, something wacky like that.
Remember that movie with, what was it? The big dude, the actor, where the guy gets hit lightning. He's like, 6 times. And he's like, oh, you've been hit with lightning 6 times? He's like, no, 66 times. You remember that shit, John Candy?
Yeah, yeah.
With the great outdoors?
Well, there's a guy that has been hit like a record number of times. There's one, see if you can find that. There's one dude that for whatever reason, they don't know what, they don't understand it, but he's been hit by lightning multiple times. And it's not because he's looking for it. Like he's particularly attractive to lightning. For some strange reason.
I think I'm particularly attracted
How
to
many
black
times?
bears.
7 times.
Good God.
Yeah, he's a ranger, park ranger.
Yeah, come on, man. So Roy Cleveland Sullivan, he died in 1983, United States Park Ranger in Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. Between 1942 and 1977, Sullivan was hit by lightning on 7 different occasions and survived all of them. I would go home and talk to my wife and see if she put some voodoo on.
That reminds me of that saying I have, if it was raining pussy, you get hit in the head with a dick. That guy's bad luck.
Yeah.
That is
7
horrible.
times. It's crazy. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I just don't worry about it though anymore.
What'd you say, Jamie?
This one says another guy got hit 10 times.
Ooh,
10?
God.
Another guy's like, I'll show you, pussy.
It's hit 10 times.
Put a fucking metal hat on.
Yeah, it's just. I think though you get desensitized to different things, and lightning is definitely one where I just kind of hang out in the tent and.
It cooks you from the inside out like being in a microwave, he says. Man 61 survives being struck by lightning 10 times. Melvin Roberts made headlines in 2011 for being hit 6 times in 1 year. Wife said he's been struck another 4 times. South Carolina man suffered memory loss, headaches, speech problems, and has nerve damage in his hands and leg. Like, I'm so confused. I don't understand why it keeps hitting him. Let me see what that guy looks like. No. He looks like a guy who's been hit by lightning 10 times.
Yeah, because usually it'll blow the end of your toes off.
Really?
Yeah, where it
A
exits.
single lightning strike is made up of several 100 million volts. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, we've been on in lightning strikes where they hit trees close by. It just blows them up into shrapnel. It's pretty wild.
How's it not kill people?
Yeah, that's where it exited the toe.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Nerve damage in his leg and foot as a result of the lightning strikes.
Mm-hmm. That might change your idea.
It says
of
Roy
going to
Sullivan
woods.
is the current world record holder.
Yeah.
And then he was hit 7 times, the guy that we were talking about. He died in 1983 by his own hand. Oh, no.
That's not good.
Yeah, you got to wonder, like, what's left after you've been hit 7 times? Like, your shit must be scrambled.
I don't know, man, but those are the things that'll probably get you. You know, like talking about, bears is like the last thing I worry about. Lightning's that's a real problem.
What is there a way to get it to hit something else? Like if you're in your tent, would it hit the tent and not you, or would it just go right through the tent?
I think it'd go through the tent. I saw it hit an old growth tree once and blow a 180-foot tall tree into pieces, and I'm like, oh, that did not look appealing. You know, as
You
a
watched
kid.
it happen?
Yeah, and that's not uncommon either. Because if you have service, you can see where it's going, right? Like the one that passed 2 years ago, I knew Frank was fucked because it was going by me literally 400 yards, and I'm watching cloud to ground. And I'm like,
Wow.
texting Frank, I'm like, dude, buckle your shit up, it's coming. And it went right in front of me and over Frank. And, Frank's so funny. He literally called me. He's like, I'm okay, sir. And I'm like, how'd it go? He's like, that was not cool. And he had video of it striking, all around him. But the thing,
Oh,
like
my
he said, is
God.
where's he going to go? Because he's just running into a storm, right? You're not going to outrun it.
What do you do? What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to
You're
go near
supposed to
trees?
get into depression and hunker down is what you're
Into a
supposed
depression, like
Yep.
some sort of a valley? What's it say, Jim?
I was reading through Roy Sullivan's Wikipedia. It says he got struck 2 other times. Once when he was a kid, but it didn't hurt him, so he didn't claim it. And then another time, his wife got struck while he was helping her with the clothes, but he didn't get hurt that time either. So I guess he didn't claim that time.
What, is he a fucking alien? Like, why would one guy get hit so many times?
I'm trying to read why it says, but like it does. There's no reasoning why or anything like that.
That's so weird. Like, what about a person's biological makeup would be so different that lightning would be attracted to them?
I don't know. He's got some serious static electricity. The thing is, like with, the more you're out there, epic shit happens. Well, I guess you might not consider it epic, but I mean, the more
He's a park ranger. So.
right, that's what I mean. Like you're out there, and then you think about how much time I'm out there. Crazy shit's gonna happen if you're in the woods a lot. I mean, there's the Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's a 1 in a billion chance for that to happen. I mean, that's literally. But the more you're out there, shit's gonna happen.
Well, Jordan's story about the Wolverine stealing his moose fat was hilarious.
I know he had to one up me. I was giving him shit about that, right? Like one of the only guys in history to shoot one with a recurve, and he basically killed one with a hatchet. I'm like, you son of a bitch! But
he said he couldn't eat it though, so it was disgusting.
Yeah, it's I had a lot of people. Well, you asked me too. I had a lot of people ask me, and I was like, yeah, I'm not eating that fucker. It's nasty. But they're, talking like with coyotes and stuff. I think Ranella ate a coyote.
Yes, him and Remy Warren, they cooked a coyote. Ate it. It didn't seem that bad. It seemed edible.
It's not for me. I don't.
If you were starving?
I've
eaten.
eaten
Starving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just saying, I've eaten marmot on purpose. Marmot tastes good. You don't want to eat the old ones; are not so good. Like
a marmot's like a rodent, right?
Yeah. Those taste pretty good. We call it Rocky Mountain fish and chips. We catch cutthroat and brook trout and eat marmot.
They're really that good?
No, they're not that good. But
I've had beaver. Ranella cooked up beaver.
Beaver
and it was
tail's
actually
pretty good.
It wasn't the tail; it was the hindquarters.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he cooked it. It was like a beef stew. He braised it and then slow cooked it in a crock pot. It was actually very good. Like we were stunned. It was quite delicious.
Yeah, I've had beaver, but the tail more than anything.
Tail's weird, right? The
yeah,
fat.
Which I was going to say it's very fatty, is what it is. But
yeah, it's like a fat sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea of they eat what you kill or whatever, but I also get the idea that Wolverines eat the shit out of. They'll clear a basin of mountain goats and sheep out in a minute. Did you hear the whole story of that? Fucker bit the arrow in half on the third arrow and charged me after biting it in half.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was cool.
It's a wild little animal, man. I mean, they're in the badger family, and that honey badger don't give a fuck is pretty famous.
Oh, you know how many memes I got? A honey badger don't give a shit. Oh, fuck, it was crazy.
It's a wild little animal too, just the way it looks. It doesn't even look like a real thing.
Yeah. Well, it was crazy because they were fighting when we saw them, and so we stalked down in on them. I was like, figured we were 30 yards away, and all of a sudden we heard, and I was, Jesus Christ, they were like 14 yards away.
Yeah, I've seen them chase off wolves from kills. It's crazy. I've seen them in video at least.
Yeah.
It's a wild little animal. It's just so funny how something so small can be so ferocious. Look at that fucker. Look at that face.
Yeah, I saw it like at 6 yards on my third arrow. About
That's
shit
a
my
honey
pants.
badger.
Yeah.
Wolverine's real similar.
Yeah.
But just any kind of badger. So it's such a strange animal.
They are. And I guess there's a lot of them up in that mountain range.
Well,
Because I know they encourage you to, shoot them because they're hard on the ungulates. So
do they encourage you to? They encourage you to take them out because they kill the... Look at that one with his mouth open in the middle. Low down. Yeah, look at that. Fucking A, man.
yeah.
Their faces. Look at his fucking face. That doesn't even look like a real face.
Dude, I should send you mine. You can put it in here. And like every time you look at it, scare the shit out of you. I kept the whole hide. I just, when we were in there, it was like...
Send it to me. I'll put it right there next to that chimps, that fake, this thing. This is Shane Against the Machine on Instagram made me this.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
That's badass.
It's a chimp skull that he made out of Zildjian thimbles.
No, it looks like
it says Zildjian on the back of it.
It reminds me of that movie Congo.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The bad gorilla. Remember that? The mean
Yeah.
monkeys?
Do you know why you know what's interesting about that? That's a Michael Crichton book, right? Isn't it? Michael Crichton?
Crichton, yep.
What's interesting about that is I thought he was just making that up, but there is a giant chimp in the Congo. There's a giant they call it the Bondo ape. It's huge. It's like 6 feet tall. They've caught him on camera traps. There's I think he's from Sweden or Switzerland, I forget, a wildlife photographer named Carl Amon, and he was obsessed with these things. He saw one once, I believe, and then he set up all these camera traps. He spent years in there trying to document this thing because there's an enormous chimpanzee, like a subspecies of chimpanzee that lives in the Congo in this place called Bili.
And you got photos of it?
Yeah, they have photos. They have camera traps. These two guys who lived there shot one near an airfield landing strip. It's huge. It's like a 6 foot tall chimp.
It'd be equivalent of seeing Bigfoot, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if I ever saw it, I'd certainly want to go find it more. I don't necessarily think Bigfoot exists, but if I saw one, I'd certainly want to go find it.
This one's really trippy because it sleeps on the ground like a gorilla.
No
nest.
shit.
Yeah, they nest on the ground, and they caught one eating a leopard. They don't know if it killed the leopard or if it was just eating a leopard that was already dead. But you got to imagine how strong a chimp is. Now imagine how strong a 200. I mean, not 200, 6 foot tall, probably more than 200, probably 300 or 400
With the
pound chimp.
densest muscle mass known to man.
Yeah,
That stayed the fuck out of the jungle.
The crazy thing is they have camera trap photos of one walking upright.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, walking. See if you can find that. The guy's Carl with a K, Amon. He's this wildlife photographer that got obsessed with this animal because they were, a lot of people were claiming bullshit for the longest time on this. That there's photos of one that someone had shot from the 1920s, and they were trying to figure out if it was a hybrid, if it was a gorilla chimp hybrid, if that's possible. See, that's the one that's the camera trap on the far left. So you see it walking. That fucker was walking on his hind legs. It's huge. And now go back to where you were. See that one right beside it on the left? That's the dead one. Up top. Yeah, right there. That's the one that they shot at a landing strip. They shot near an airport. Look at the size of his hog.
Good Lord.
Good Lord. Look at the size of that fucker. I mean, you don't know how big the men are behind it, but, even if they're 5'7", that's a 6 foot enormous chimpanzee.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the one in the middle, the black and white one, Jamie, over there, yeah, that one. That is the original photo from really, really early on. I think that was the early 1900s. People were trying to figure out what the fuck that was. It was like, it's really big for a chimp because these guys are trying to hold it up and, its legs are still dragging on the ground. So if it was standing up on its hind legs, it'd probably be as tall as them.
Good Lord.
Yeah, crazy. So it is an actual chimp. There's another one, too, that one right next to it, Jamie, right above where your cursor is, down and to the right, that one. I mean, this is a fucking enormous animal, man.
Oh, yeah. That's like the Bigfoot of the jungle.
I mean, imagine a 400-pound chimp. 6 foot tall, 400-pound chimp. Like, what the fuck? So this guy, Carl Ammann, Ammann, has been photographing these things for years and set up these camera traps. They have two different types of chimps. They call them tree beaters and lion killers. The tree beaters are the ones. Look at that one in the middle that's standing up. Fuck you. Look at that thing. God damn, that's crazy.
And if you could watch what a normal chimp does physically, that's probably going to be pretty impressive what that thing can do.
Yeah, I mean, they throw themselves through the air with their arms. Literally just throw themselves and catch a tree.
That's wild.
And hang from it. So that's why that Congo movie was so weird. Like, it's kind of sort of loosely based on an actual real chimp.
Yeah.
And they get real gray looking, too, which is also true, just like his book.
Yeah, I was going to say in the movie they had the gray.
Yeah, well, they get real gray when they get big, sort of like gorillas. They also have a crest on their head like gorillas. That this chimp, this fake chimp skull that he made, this is a normal chimp skull. But the ones that they found, that's why they got so confused. These Bondo apes, they actually have a crest, like they have this big thick partition at the top of their head and the skull.
That usually, like with bears, that's an age, right? When they get that butt crack in their forehead, it's basically
That
coming
big,
down.
thick muscles that they can crush moose bones with.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is pretty wild watching what some of the like I got hit by a black bear once running, just clipped me. He was running scared, but he hit me, and I was like, "Oh, that was definitely a reality check of where I'm at."
You were running, like jogging?
Oh, fuck no, I was on the trail, and he ran by me and clipped me.
Oh.
And it wasn't like this crazy. I mean, it was,
He just ran you over accidentally?
fuck, man, he hit me, and that was a reality check of where I stand at in the food chain. I thought I got hit by a fucking 600-pound linebacker. I mean, it blew me back, and he clipped me on the side, but it happened so fast, right? And literally, it took me a second to like, Jesus Christ, when he hit me. He was running scared, right? It was just a happenstance thing. But South got attacked by one when he was young.
South Cox?
Yeah, when he was young. But it really shows you, like, well, I have a matrix target. You like those. Mm-hmm. That fucking bear at my house pushed the center octagon out. He doesn't have opposable thumbs. He didn't release the ratchet straps. And he was managed to push the middle portion out.
Why?
Probably had peanut butter on my hand, and I was pulling arrows.
Oh, and you smelled it.
Yeah, and he was able to push that center octagon out, and that was a 180-pound little black bear. So imagine what a 500-pound black bear could do to you.
Well, when you see them run up trees, just use their claws and just run up the tree and full clip, like you would run on the ground, but faster. And they go up a tree that way.
Oh yeah,
We're so weak.
It's pretty crazy. That one I got, that one that charged me 2 years ago. guys, man, that thing was like, I hit it 2 times coming at me here and here, and I was shitting my knickers, right? I mean, the first time I hit it, I was like, oh, like running backwards, and I was pooping my pants, right? And then it took off and it started stomping the ground, so I huffed at it again and came in again, and I was not ready the second go around either, and I hit it here, and then it ran off broadside, and I ended up killing it, but it was hilarious because my buddy was like, hey, did you get a shot? Because he couldn't see in the timber. And I'm like, dude, I'm out of arrows. And he's like, what happened? And I don't think he believed me. And we got up there. I'm like, dude, it's a big bear. And I said, did you hear it? And he said, I could hear it stomping. And I was like, did you hear it fucking try to eat me? And he was like, did it really? I'm like, no, it didn't try to eat me. I was like, but Jesus. And he, looked and I was reenacting, telling him what happened. It was a trip, man. But I was wearing black.
So it might have thought that you were a bear?
So when that snow melts, the king of the apes, right? The biggest bears guard the lushest grass, right? And so when I stalked in, I actually pulled my camo off and I put on black fleece because it was in a field. And I was on my hands and knees, and he'd feed, and I'd get closer, and he'd feed, and I got to 35 yards, and he wheeled out right when I shot, and he went into the timber, and I was like, ah, damn it. And then I could hear him in there popping his teeth, and I'm like, oh, oof. He wants some. So I loaded an arrow and just dove into the timber, and I started huffing at him, and that's a dominance thing.
Wait, you did that to get him riled up? Why would you do that?
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time, right? Looking back,
you just caught up in the moment.
Well, if I could be honest with you, I've never had one come at me that fast. Usually they'll just stand up there and they'll stomp the ground.
So you thought you were going to bluff him and then he would be there for a shot.
Yeah, and it didn't quite turn out like I had planned it. And he came straight at me. And so I started like, oh, that's a fucking bad idea. And I started running backwards and I shot, but it was, I don't know, from here to the TV. And I hit it. Well, I thought, okay, that should slow him down. I'll get in that. Well, fuck, it just pissed him off. So he ran out there at 20 yards and started stomping the ground. So at this point in time, I was a bit caught in the moment, and I'm not trying to make this sound any more than me being a dumb fuck. So I started huffing at it again, and he came straight at me one more time, and I hit him on the other side. Well, what was funny is Gary, is like, hey, did you get a shot? And I was like, yeah, dude, you would not believe this. And you could tell he was like, yeah, whatever. We get in there, and this thing's got one arrow sticking out of here, one here, and one through the lungs, and it was, I don't know, it was fucking crazy. He's 7'4".
It's a weird animal to eat too. The rivets taught me how delicious they can be.
They're good.
John and Jen Rivet really know how to cook them, and especially on a Traeger, they'll smoke cook.
That's what we
slow
did.
Cook a ham. It's unbelievable.
Well,
it's so good.
I get a kick out of the hate mail I get about predators, right? Because we eat them. Like mountain lion's unbelievable. It's not as good as axis deer, but it's pretty damn good. And it's like just because. It's weird that you get less hate mail from a deer than you do something that can eat you.
I know, because it seems like if you're killing an animal like a mountain lion, you're doing it because you want to be a badass.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So, but if you kill an animal like a deer, like that's normal. People are accustomed to people killing deer for food.
Well, I had people like, oh, those are endangered. Because I killed a giant mountain lion, and I've killed a bunch of bears. Like they're endangered, and it's like, no, there's actually kind of a problem, right? Because
California, they're not endangered at all. It's you hear that talk all the time. There's at Tejon Ranch, they have one particular camera trap where they caught 16 different mountain lions on a pond.
Yeah, they're a problem, and they'll eat, they'll eat 2.5 deer a week. Pretty easily, and so a mountain lion. But you think like people think you can't eat, and there's some predators you probably shouldn't eat. But again, in the big picture, which I do not understand how people think, they eat everything else, and so to be truly not the hashtag conservation, but if you're worried about other animals, you have to keep everything in relative check.
Yeah, there's a weird thing that people have, though, when it comes to predators. Like, there was a woman who ran an alpaca farm in Malibu, and she had this one particular mountain lion that had found her farm irresistible and slaughtered a bunch of them and killed a couple of goats, too, and she got a depredation permit to kill this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of death threats that she got when they found out that she was going to kill this mountain lion, or was told that she got a permit where she could hire someone to take this mountain lion out. And so she eventually wound up not doing it just out of fear.
Yeah,
she was
crazy.
just scared. But meanwhile, they don't have any problem with this thing really thrill killing. It was just thrill. It can't help itself.
Yeah.
Once it found out that it could get into that pen where the alpacas were, it just was slaughtering them.
Yeah, the U.S. Well, not just us here. It's kind of weird. So put things in perspective. Things don't think about this. If you shoot an animal and you don't pack it all out, you get a ticket for wanton waste, right? And honestly, I mean,
what do they do about like rib meat? Do they call them on rib meat as well?
Every state's different. So in Colorado, you have to take 4 quarters and neck meat. Some places you don't have to take rib meat. Some places you do. You think about it. How much food do you think was wasted in California yesterday? Beef, how much was thrown away? The people didn't finish their meals. Their steak was cooked medium rare. That animal was alive once, and they throw it away.
Yeah,
and it's weird how people look at that.
That is weird, but it's like the thing of you going out and doing it yourself. And what I think they're really worried about is someone shooting a deer and just taking the antlers, which is
no. I get that portion of it. I don't get the other portion. Like right. I get I got 3. Dude, I eat 500 pounds of meat a year. Right? It's a big deal for me. What's crazy to me is this some dude that just let his kid throw his entire steak away because it didn't taste good is going to give me crap for shooting a deer that I'm going to eat the whole thing.
Well, that's human, though.
Yeah.
You know, we're real complicated animals. We're real bizarre in what we can justify and not justify. You know, and it's one of the things you're seeing. You know, if someone's walking around without a mask, you know, on the street, people will yell at them and tell them, you're putting me in danger. But you will see a massive protest, and it gets nothing but positive responses from the news and the media, and like, this is amazing. People are unifying.
Yeah.
And it is amazing, but it's also amazing that 2 weeks later there's a giant spike in COVID, and no one wants to. Something I've read, though, that there is a big spike in COVID, but there's not a corresponding death spike.
Yep. I read the same thing.
Yeah, see if that's true. Read that's true, because they said that COVID is spiking, but deaths aren't, which is really interesting, because that must mean that they're better at treating it, or maybe people have a better understanding of how to survive it, or maybe the people that are getting it are younger, because a lot of them are getting it specifically from the protests, which they're kind of denying. It seems hilarious,
which
though.
Is weird. Yeah, the whole thing, I'm trying not to read it because I just get depressed.
Get people on top of each other. I'm 100% support of the protests, 100%. But people on top of each other, you tell me if they're sick, they're not going to give it to each other. That seems highly unlikely.
Yeah, there's just a lot of contradicting views of that. Like, you can't protest certain things, but you can protest other things. And then when COVID first kicked off, 6 feet, wear a mask, whatever. And then I see these things where, you know, there's a 6 foot thing, but we don't mind if you protest. And it was
exactly,
everything was strange to me. And
there was a big gay pride protest celebration this weekend in Chicago. Same thing. Everybody on top of everybody, and everybody's like, "This is wonderful, unity." Okay, but you know, in 2 weeks, when the restaurants and the bars shut down again, we're going to question our decisions.
Yeah, it's you ever watch like Zombieland? That movie's funny. The fatties are first to go.
Right,
and I bring that up all the time. You think about how bad would it be to rewind 80 years? Like, what would happen? Like how soft we are as a culture now. Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing. And then, like, you think about some of the different plagues. You know, I read and listen to, I don't read shit. I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Me too. I like to say I read, though. It sounds better.
It does for me, too. But the reality is I don't read shit. I look at pictures. But I
read magazines. I read articles online. I read articles.
I'll read some articles, especially on my phone. I'll pull them up. But
I rarely read books.
I fall asleep when I read them, which I probably should read more. But when I look at all of the different everything that's going on nowadays, like, if there was any real major crisis, like, how fucked we would be as a society is pretty amazing.
Well, it's like we were talking about our dietary choices. The fact that 70% of Americans are overweight. That is so crazy. Yeah. This is such a weird time in terms of how easy life is without, pre-COVID. Yeah. And that people had gotten accustomed to this soft way of living. Yeah. So when someone does something like what you do and what you prefer to do, that's what makes it so extraordinary. When someone uses that ridiculous farmer's carry machine. And here it is. As U.S. coronavirus cases spike, country will be seeing more deaths, Dr. Fauci says. That guy.
Down, but they will be going up is what it says.
I understand that Dr. Fauci is a medical expert and a good man, but I am annoyed at him for what he said about the masks, because he literally said that we told people not to wear masks so that they wouldn't buy them so that healthcare experts can get them. You can't do that. You
Yeah,
can't
that's
do
not
that
good.
because then we know you're lying at one point in time. You can't lie. If you can say, please don't buy masks because healthcare workers need them. Instead, get a bandana. Instead, take an old T-shirt, convert it into a bandana. Please say that. Please, in the future, don't lie to us. Because when you lie, then we think you're lying no
You're
matter
losing
what
credibility.
you say. Exactly,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
when it's about something like that. Like, I understand they probably compelled him to do that, but man, that confuses the fuck out of everybody. Because there's this video that, him talking about you don't have to wear a mask. And it's like, then a couple weeks later, they're like, actually, you have to. It's mandatory.
Yeah, the whole COVID thing is different. It's different.
Scary.
And I think you sent me a text or something. I thought, man, this is blown out of proportion. And I think you said definitely for people like with me.
Yeah.
And
If everybody was like you, it would be a bad cold.
Yeah,
Like, hey, I hope you don't get it. But if you do, take a lot of vitamin C, drink a lot of liquids, get a lot of rest. But the problem is, obese people, diabetics, older folks.
And that's what I don't want to beat a dead horse to death, but I really, really would like, not to sound too, what's the word, liberal tree hugger-ish. Like, I really wish bottled water as we're drinking it. I'd like to see more options for filling up an Nalgene. I would like to see more options for people for health. Like,
Right.
God forbid we spend all this money on stuff. Like, it wouldn't be horrible for the government to spend money and get some free dietitians out. And I don't have a plan for this, but knowing as a converted fat kid, like, fuck, I wish I had some help when I was younger.
Do you remember when Trump had that lady that was telling everybody not to touch their face, and then she licked her finger and then turned the page?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly.
That's when, when we're talking about health experts and things along those lines, that's the kind of shit that you see sometimes. And it just makes you go, God, people are so weird. Just human beings we're so weird. What we concentrate on and what's important to us is so strange.
Yeah. Well, you're from New York originally?
I was born in New Jersey, but most of my, from 13 on, I grew up in Boston.
Not to reverse the roles here, but what made you get into hunting?
Well, I had seen a bunch of those PETA videos, and I was like, I'm going to do one of two things. Either I'm going to become a vegetarian or I'm going to become a hunter.
Yeah.
And then Ranella took me hunting on a show, and I dropped a mule deer. The moment the deer dropped, I was like, okay, I'm doing this from now on. And then the moment we ate it by campfire, I'm like, this is the best meal I probably ever have in my life.
Yeah.
And it just made me realize, like, we cooked it. We left some of it in it. We hung it up in a tree because it was pretty late when we shot it. We took the organs, and then we fried up some liver and onions, and we fried up some heart. And by the campfire. And I remember thinking while I was eating that, like, this is the most satisfying meal I've ever had in my life. This is how I'm going to live from now on.
So take that and multiply it by 100. That's how I feel with a recurve. I don't know how else to explain it.
I get it.
It's just, something about watching that arrow fly through the air after all that hard work. Now, you may want to snap that fucker in half several times on the way to finally hitting an animal.
Right.
But being a guy, I'm driven, I'm goal-oriented. I really like the challenge. I like to practice. I like all that.
I get it. I totally get it. And I would imagine that the connection is so much more intense than even with a compound bow because you're dealing with all the cams and the
and
engineering and all that jazz.
The noise, right? Getting closer, like the different things you have to do. It is hard for me to explain to, I have a little bit different perspective because I've come from the compound side, being able to, I shot my caribou at 127 yards. I've gotten bashed for that, right? And I'm like, hey.
That's a crazy shot. But if you're trying to shoot a caribou, like, a lot of times you can't get very close.
Yeah, we couldn't get close. But without me getting bashed too much about shooting long distance, now getting sub 10 yards from an animal is pretty freaking cool. I can
imagine.
It is. And, when people thinking about trying it out, might give it a try, right? When one thing good, you can do it with your kids.
Do you ever get to a point where you're like, I'm going to make my own arrowheads?
Fuck, no, not yet.
I'm going to cut my own sticks and whittle my own arrows. Like,
I
you go
had,
really full-on Comanche.
I've had a lot of people message me about that, and Amy, right now, I can tell you that I am very accurate with that. Well, we just shot that tournament with Luke and the group and the compound trad. Luke was like so happy because at the end he asked a bunch of compound guys what their scores were so he could give them shit because mine was higher. because everybody was giving him shit about how do you let Aaron beat you with a stick bow, and he's like, screw you guys, you come do it, because I've taken a bunch of money from him. I like that accuracy, even though it's not where I was with a compound. I don't know that I'll never build my own bow, but I would say the chances are highly unlikely. I'm pretty happy where I'm at right now.
Building a bow by yourself, you mean cutting the wood and actually constructing a bow out of the wood?
Probably, yeah, and probably the best guy that Clay Hayes is a real traditional dude. He's
So not even a recurve. He's using like a regular
self
long bow.
cut out of his front yard.
Jesus, what kind of wood would you use for that?
Well, they have Bodart trees, which is actually I don't know what the real name, Osage maybe is what a Bodart tree is. Anyway, I'm not an expert at this shit, and I don't plan on being. I mean, I got an aluminum riser right now, so what am I talking about? But the thing
that
is,
seems crazy.
Well,
when you're using a traditional bow, but it's made out of aluminum, like
I know, right?
Kinda cheating.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I get hate mail all the time for it.
Do you really?
Oh, fuck.
You always say I get hate mail all the time for you, and I always say, why are you reading that shit?
You're right, and I will say you have been a good influence because I probably in the last 5 years I have really gotten to a point where it takes a lot for me to get any engagement or any rise out of it. I just read them and laugh because I'm like, well, whatever, that's your opinion. But the problem is with me, or not problem, I answer so many tech questions. I try to be super involved with our customers as well as guys that need help.
So you have to read some emails.
And
some
of them I just
Instagram
laugh
messages.
at. But
yeah.
I will say like that stupid trad vein I came up with, it's not stupid. I thought that would be good for the community. Fuck no! Like I got so.
I don't know
much,
what you're talking about.
It's just a vein you can shoot out of a.
You mean the
stick bow.
feathers for people who don't know? The feathers for the arrows.
So feathers are for generally traditional archers shoot feathers,
and they do that because it has to contact the riser and it flattens out easier.
Flattens out,
so it's more accurate.
Yes, exactly, because you don't get the bounce off the shelf.
Right, like you would with a plastic vein, like you do with a compound bow, because
it hits the shelf and
rest
bounces.
drops
You get
off.
contact, bounces
Right.
off. So I had that goat hunt. I got a hold of the guys at AAE, and I was like, hey, let's get this. I don't care if you sell them. I just want them. Well, I thought that would have been – this is how weird the traditional archery community is for me. I thought that would be a positive for guys that do backpack hunts, and it was for a lot of guys. I made the mistake of reading a few online traditional archery forums about myself, and that was a bad idea because I was like the devil because of those veins to coming up with
they want
them
them to be feathers.
Yeah, I'm like the Antichrist or something. I don't know.
They want it to be feathers because it's traditional.
It's traditional, yeah. And even though the wood is made from a CNC machine, their riser and their limbs have carbon in them.
No, people are weird. People are weird with and especially when people get into tradition, like traditional things. They get very strange.
Yeah, and I don't, man, like with me, I don't care if you hunt in pink underwear and use a whatever the hell, David and Goliath, whatever, the bow. So you do whatever that makes you happy. I just want people to get outdoors and get off the couch. But, everybody has different opinions and perspectives and whatever else. But for me, that was just a tool that increased my opportunity while I was out there. But it was definitely frowned upon by some.
Yeah.
So
fuck them.
Yeah.
Don't you think that this would be a really good time for some sort of hunting education, like a program that people can enter, where they could be taught like adult onset hunting, like people who are adults learn how to do it. Someone take you out. I mean, I know there's a few people that do similar things out there, but man, it would be real nice, especially when COVID happened and people realized, like, hey, this food supply chain is a little sketchy. Like, we don't really have any toilet paper here. And my buddy went to the grocery store. He said there was one package of ground meat. That was all that was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, that could go sideways.
It was pretty crazy. Some of my neighbors that were not keen on me taking my own animals and all the food I had in the deep freezer, that all of a sudden wanted to come.
They were
borrow
not
meat.
keen on it? Like, did they tell you they weren't keen on it?
Yeah, you could see they're pretty down on it.
Did they
like
say something to you?
Other than like, yeah, I'm not into hunting, like that kind of underlying, go fuck yourself, you shot an animal.
Right.
But they ate meat, so I whatever, however you want to
So
look
weird.
at that. And then
That's
when
the weirdest.
COVID hit, because I eat 400 or 500 pounds a year, pretty easy of meat, maybe more than that. Plus, I give my daughter and whatever. Anyway, some of them had come over and were like, hey, can we try some of that? I'm like, yeah, I don't, I'm always going to encourage people to try it. And then now it's obviously worked out because they're addicted to it. They love it.
Once you
how clean
taste
it is.
Yeah, it's so good for you too. It just feels better when you eat it. If you eat a real nice elk steak, like you get like energy. It's weird. It's hard to describe to people.
It is. And I mean, you also have, like for me, the fact that the way I got it, it just adds to the whole experience, which is hard to explain. But I think that as a whole, like land navigation, how to break down an animal, animal behavior, that'd be a hell of a class that I think wouldn't be a horrible time to.
Yeah, I think it would be great for people. I mean, I wouldn't say do it with archery. I would say do it with a rifle, especially people that don't have any experience in it. But I think that would be incredibly rewarding. It's not something that everybody can do. Well, people always say that when you talk about hunting as being a method of acquiring your meat, like, hey, we don't have to factory farm. Hunting is still a possibility. People go, well, you can't feed everyone with hunting. And they're right. You really can't. But guess what? Everyone's not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's like everything else. It's like, the whole world can't go to jiu-jitsu class. It would be too packed.
Yep.
Well, that's good because most people are not going to do it anyway. It's too hard.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with lifting weights. It's the same thing with yoga. It's the same thing with anything that's difficult. Difficult things do not attract people. They attract some people.
Yeah.
They attract people that are interested in challenges.
Yeah, and I would say the only thing, if you did that, you'd probably want the shooting of the weapon to be the last portion, because a lot of people would want to just do that and then bounce.
Right.
You'd have to earn your way to that.
Yeah, and you have to have a curriculum, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, and I talk about that easy button that people hit all the time. One of the things like I'm most thankful for is I came up with a time with no rangefinder.
Oh.
I had to learn to range, right?
Yeah.
And
So how did you range with no rangefinder? Did you learn how to like recognize actual distance of things by thinking of it in terms of like body sizes? Like
First it was a tape we'd measure, and you know what I mean. You'd roll it out, and we would have different courses or whatever. And when I say we didn't have rangefinders, right when I started, there was like a Bushnell 500. The thing was the size of this freaking notebook. It was giant. It was a mono, an ocular.
Wow.
And that was like the first one. And then they had some other ones that they were probably available to people that had a lot of money. But you would pacing it out. My step is a yard. And so I measured out, or we were at a range, and I'd make sure how far everything was. I would pace it out. So I would guess the yardage, and I would pace it. Guess the yardage, and I would pace it.
I've heard of archery competitions where they don't let you use a rangefinder.
So here's the thing with that. And so we talked about Levi before. Levi Morgan has shot higher scores at times on unknown 3D courses where the known 3D course had shot a lower score, and those guys had rangefinders. That's how good that dude is.
So when you say unknown, you mean 3D courses where you can't use a rangefinder. So you're shooting at targets, and you have to guesstimate.
Yep, and he guesses the yardage. And there's another class, shoots from the same stakes, and they get rangefinders. Levi has
higher.
beaten them with no rangefinder.
That's insane.
That's how fucking good that guy is.
That's
So
insane.
when people talk about, because you get guys like, I would say, me and Cam, not a tournament guy. Cam's shooting 160-yard shots. I mean, great shot. Or even Dudley. Dudley, amazing shot. But then you look at a Levi Morgan, if you dig into him, 13 ASA World Championships in a row that guy won.
That's pretty crazy.
And he's still shooting today. And then you think he's hitting fucking quarters, not knowing the distance out of 50 yards.
It really is crazy that someone can win something that competitive 13 years in a row. I mean, it's hard to believe.
Well, I mean, about the time like my wife is making my head too big, I'll pull up YouTube and have her watch an ASA with like Gillingham and Levi or Dan McCarthy, and I'm like, these guys are good, honey. I'm just okay. Like, these guys are fucking unbelievable.
Well, it's an obsession, right? Archery is a weird Zen obsession. Like the feel. I try to explain to people, like, if I never hunted again for the rest of my life, if I never even ate meat for the rest of my life, I would definitely shoot bows and arrows. I would definitely practice archery, because there's something that happens when you concentrate on that target and the shot process and the shot breaks and then arrow sinks right into where you're looking at. It's amazing. It's a beautiful feeling. That's
extremely rewarding. I don't. It would be hard for me. I mean, what happened with me when I did that switch, right? When I was, I found a new love for archery that I had lost because the newness ran away. And I'm not saying I was, perfect at it, but you can pick up a compound and shoot it and skip a week and still be pretty damn good with it.
Right.
that stick bow, you got to shoot it all the time. So I got to a point where 15 years ago, I would take work off and call in sick to set up my new bow. Like I was always been addicted to archery. And then later on down the line, that newness wore off where now, well, I'm the boss, so I don't have to call in sick. Literally like a kid at a Christmas waiting for shit to come in with that recurve. So it rejuvenated that love for archery. And it kicks the shit out of you. And so that challenge, when I say kicks the shit out of you, that challenge of practicing, it's pretty addictive. I was actually surprised you haven't tried it more yet, but you may
Traditional
not have.
bow?
Yeah.
I just don't have the time. I know what it is. I know that it's going to take
does take
X
time.
amount of hours every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm scared. It's like the same reason why I won't play golf.
Yeah.
Like I know me. I'm not doing that. I'm not walking around for 8 hours a day because then I would be doing it every day and everything else would suffer.
That's why I don't do CrossFit, to be honest with you, because
Get
I'm
addicted
super
to it?
competitive. Fuck, I fucking hate to lose.
I just watched that documentary. There's a CrossFit documentary. I forget what it's called. It's The Fittest or something like that. It shows the competitions. It's like fucking bonkers, man.
Dude, we had Matt Chan on the other day. He's took second in 2012 in the CrossFit Games. I'm not a CrossFitter, so I don't know all the different shit, but I mean, he's fit, that's for sure. But I've told Frank, I'm like, dude, I'm not good at not giving everything I have. And one, I'll probably fuck myself up physically, trying too hard. But two, the time to put into that with everything else I've got going on, my workout program's fine, so I'm like, dude, I got enough irons in the fire. I don't want to dive into the CrossFit arena and get consumed by that as well as many other things. Even photography takes time and all that shit. All your hobbies take time. So I don't fly fish.
The CrossFit thing too. I know too many people that have hurt themselves. They push too hard and they hurt them. I was just reading an article about a guy who was a CrossFit trainer who got rhabdomyolysis.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, CrossFit trainer. He's like, I'm a CrossFit instructor and I got rhabdo from a CrossFit workout. But you just, you're pushing yourself so hard with all those reps and you're doing it, trying to keep up with all the people that are in the class with you. I get it's great for you, but for morons like me, probably not the best move.
I'm going to agree with you in that moron category on my end because a moron like me, Frank and I are competitive even though we're not competitive. We both want to do good. Mm-hmm. If I go into a CrossFit gym and Frank beats me, it's not like I'm going to go home like, oh, shucks, I lost my motherfucker, and I'm going to go, full ape shit. So
exactly.
It is, again, I get, guys get pissed or whatever about, me. I'm not talking shit about CrossFit. I'm saying I would probably slack on form because of whatever the WOD or whatever it's called for the day. Mm-hmm. I'd probably chintz on form and fuck myself up.
Look, I know you can fuck yourself up doing everything, and I've fucked myself up doing jiu-jitsu multiple times. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but, I've talked to people that are real legit trainers, like Steve Maxwell, who said he doesn't like it because it's lifting weights as a sport. He goes, lifting weights should be something you do that enhances sport. He goes, particularly when you're doing Olympic movements, he's like, Olympic movements shouldn't be done to maximum repetition. And he's like, they should be done controlled and they should be done, a low number of reps, and you're just trying to build strength. But everyone's got their own thought process. And when you look at those guys in those competitions, and the girls scare the fuck out of me. There's some of those girls are built like fucking gorillas. Like,
it's crazy.
I don't know if that's good girls.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's into that. But the guys are obviously insanely fit. So saying that it's not good for you seems silly. It's obviously very good for them. Some of those fucking dudes are so impressive, but
I just worry about shoulder injuries. Is
Exactly.
the big one, like the kip up
Backs.
thingy dingies. What are those called? Kippers? Is it
Kip up, chin ups, yeah.
and body
Kip chin
muscle ups.
Mhm,
Those
yeah.
things look like a recipe for me to fuck myself up.
yeah,
so.
they're less recipe for a labrum tear.
But guys, a bunch of guys gave me shit when I set up my own gym. They're like, it looks like a CrossFit gym, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing any kip ups though. Like making jokes, but I do
your
a pretty
gym
simple.
looks like a functional strength gym.
I do the most. I do as far as like. I'll do one-arm dumbbell snatches. I do some straight leg deadlifts, but I do everything in moderation. And where I used to lift super heavy for power, like crazy heavy,
Well, you used
now,
to be a big motherfucker, right?
I'm 70 pounds bigger than I am now. Yeah, that's
so big.
Well, I benched. My goal was to bench over 500. Now, for any dickheads emailing me, I cheated, right? I used steroids, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So, but I tell you what, when your wiener breaks from taking that'll make you stop doing anything. 'Cause that's what happened. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I got to where I could lift pretty much anything I wanted. I couldn't walk from me to Jamie and back without getting winded. And so, I'll just. Can I just list what I took? It doesn't matter,
Sure.
right? So I was taking 250 milligrams or 1 milliliter of a nanthate every 3 days. So basically, I was taking 3 shots a week of enanthate.
I don't know what that is. Is that hardcore stuff?
No, it's just testosterone, 250 milligrams.
Okay.
So I take 1 shot of that a week now for being on
Testosterone replacement therapy.
testosterone replacement. But I was also taking equipoise.
That's for horses.
Yes, it is. I was taking equipoise. I was taking that makes you super purple. Deca. I took trinobolin for a while, but I could not handle trin, dude. I hung a guy out of a building. Like, trin is not good. It's superhuman strength, aggressive, sex drive, but superhuman dickhead too. Like, it's just not for me. So I only took that for a little bit, and I didn't take it for that long. The one thing I found out is, one, there's a reason that you're not supposed to be on that shit. And I'm not a religious guy, so I'm not going to say God didn't mean you to be that way, but somebody didn't mean me to fucking be that way. Like,
well, you're monkeying with your structure. You know, like you have a chemical and biological and hormonal structure of your body, and you're monkeying with that. You know, you're adding massive amounts of muscle to your body. You're adding superhuman levels of hormones to your body.
Well, and like the first time I took equipoise, it's a horse decongestant. So I took it and I was
decongestion?
Like, yeah, it's like cleans out the airways or opens up. It's a bronchial dilator. Some hacking shit up. I'm like, what am I getting sick? Well, it's because I was, there was horses and pigs on the fucking container, right? Idiot, right? So, people ask me about it. I'm like, don't do it. Eat healthier, work out hard. Like, I lost everything anyway, but so the problem is in the middle of that, they have Deca, and they call it Deca Dick, right? It makes you like no sex drive. And I wasn't taking anything to, because I watched Hidalgo, right? And the horse fell in the pit with my daughter, and I started crying. I don't cry.
Hidalgo?
It's a movie, right?
Okay.
Anyway, the horse falls in the pit, and the horse gets like a spear in its leg, and I'm crying. I'm like, what in the fuck is wrong with me? Well,
you're emotional.
Jesus, my estrogen levels were like through the roof. So I looked, and like an idiot, I had 200 milligram per milliliter Deca, and then I had another bottle that was like 400 or something, and I got them mixed up, so I was doubling up on Deca. Like I said, some of the dumber shit.
How long did you do this for?
Maybe a year and a half.
Did you get yourself checked out after it was over?
Oh, yeah.
Everything's okay?
Well, when I first got off, I wish I had a photo. I don't know if we could pull one up, how big I get. Dude, I look like that rock on Fantastic Four. It's fucking weird looking.
Dude, I had Ronnie Coleman in here
a
couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
First of all, what a great guy. So nice.
Yeah.
Like, so friendly and so happy, even though he's basically broken.
Yeah.
He's had, how many back surgeries did he say he had? Something crazy. Yeah, like more than 10 back surgeries.
I read an article that said 13, but I don't know.
And that was probably it. His entire back is basically fused.
Yeah.
But when you look at him, when he was Mr. Olympia, when he was winning,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, that a human being can get that big.
Oh, it's insane. And I only scratched, like I didn't put the, he's done it his whole life, right? Those guys are freaks. Phil Heath lives by us in Denver. You'll see him every now and then, or you used to, and he's a new kind of one guy like Ronnie. Mm-hmm. The thing is, though, is like you go into a gym and grab 200-pound dumbbells and you start doing incline bench with no spotter. That grabbing some looks, but I genetically was not built to lift that heavy, right? Mm-hmm. There's some help involved in that. But I got to a point where I was super emotional, and not like I don't believe really in the roid rage thing, because I never got that.
What are you talking about? You're just telling me you're hanging a guy off the side of a building. That's roid rage.
Yeah, well, let me finish. Good point. But I think if you just take an increased amount of like testosterone and anabolic in general, if you're a happy guy, you're happy. If you're a sad guy, you're sad. And if you're a dickhead, you're more of a dickhead. The thing with, Tren, that's why I got off it. That was one thing for me that definitely, I was changing psychologically. Mm-hmm. When I got off, it was the problem. Like, emotionally, I was a wreck. Like, that's the closest. I'm not like a suicidal guy. Mm-hmm. That's the closest where my brain just didn't function right. And then I got off cold turkey and that is a big issue with kids, young kids. Their endocrine system crashes. And just like we were talking about with soldiers that have been blown up a bunch, or football players or fighters, your body's not producing testosterone correctly. After you get off that shit, you get really, really depressed for some people. Bigorexia is what they were telling me, because I was afraid to go to the gym because I was shrinking. And,
right.
So you know what I did is I joined Planet Fitness. Perfect. You can hide in there and be little and fit right in.
You can't even make noise.
No, I know, right?
They kick you out.
Lunk alarm.
Have you seen that alarm? Have you ever seen an alarm go off?
Yeah. So there was a couple muscle-heads that went in there, I think, to prove it in one of the gyms that I went to, and they were grunting and deadlifting and drop. They kicked them out. They pull your membership.
That's so crazy. You can't try hard.
I know, right?
Like if you're lifting heavy, you're gonna like. If you do that, they're like, "Hey, you're trying too hard. We don't want that here."
It was weird for me. I'm not a weight dropper, but definitely if you're doing a deadlift, there's something and it's heavy. Something's probably going to come out of you, right? You're gonna do some grunting.
I'm a
right?
grunter, bro.
And so I don't. I'm not the guy that makes a crazy amount of noise in the gym, but there's times where the last couple,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's frowned upon. So I went there for like 6 months, which I will say was the smartest thing I could have done. There was no temptation. There's Tootsie Rolls in a fucking basket at the front of it, right? There is no
really?
Oh yeah, they serve pizza.
Tootsie Rolls, pizza. They serve pizza.
Oh, it's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. At that place and space in my life, it was what I needed because I had no temptation.
I just think it's amazing that they would set up a place where they're encouraging you to not try too hard.
And they do well.
I'm sure. That's how people like it.
I was laughing because, well, I'd say laughing. Like for me, once I got out of it, I was like, that is the strangest shit I've ever seen. There's a gym that wants you to be fat. That's strange. Because they do. There's Pizza Tuesdays or whatever.
Do they want you to be fat, or do they just encourage you to not intimidate the other people with your performance? Is that what it is?
Probably because I was definitely the oddball at the one I went to. And
God, so weird.
Like I would do calf raises and I would put 245s on each side on the ground, and then I would put 445s on like a Smith machine, and I'm just doing calf drops.
Right.
Oh, that got shit canned immediately. I was like,
they told you not to do it?
Yeah.
Why?
For one, they said I was taking all the weights up, and two, they said that's not. They didn't kick me off totally. They said that is frowned upon here, and I was like,
what is frowned upon here? Calf raises?
Because how I was doing it. When I was like, this is strange, but I can't, again, it was good for me at that time to get off because, dude, that was the hardest thing mentally that I had to deal with in a while.
That is everything I hate about America.
Yeah.
Like that whole, just the idea behind that. Don't try too hard. Just like, no, not here. Here we're going to use 45% exertion.
Dude, I get in trouble a lot. I get called a dick for being the guy that's rub some dirt in your crotch and get the fuck up and go. Like, not...
Rub some dirt in your crotch. Is that real good advice?
It gets a point across, right? Well, when guys will ask me certain pieces of advice that they need, they need someone like maybe you or me or a Ranella or whoever to give them oh man, that's okay. I'm not that fucking guy. Don't send me a message where you think you're going to get some kind of, oh, it's okay that you suck, keep going. Like I try to circle myself with people that tell me I suck to try harder. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And I get messages and I'm like, dude, no, that's not okay. I'm like, you're fucking weak. Just push harder. That's the key. Keep trying.
Well, the only problem with that kind of advice is some people start off with a terrible base, right? If you're a person that doesn't have any athletic background, no exercise at all, you really do have to start off light. And I tell people all the time, like if you're just starting exercise, say if you work in an office, you're in a cubicle, you're completely sedentary, all you have to do is just start walking. Just start with walks. Then do some push-ups, do a few things. Don't do anything crazy.
That's great advice. That's what the advice I'm giving, though, is that type of advice. Like when they send me their diet plan, and it's the diet plan of a Greek god, and I'm like, yeah, you're fucking lying. Like, you're not doing that shit. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I totally agree with what you're saying, but think about it. If I messaged you and said, hey, man, I've been eating 80 grams of carbs a day. I'm walking 4 miles, no soda. I'm still 260 pounds at 5'9". I think something's wrong. And it's like, yeah, you're fucking lying to yourself is what's wrong.
Or maybe something's really wrong. You need to go to a doctor.
I've said that, too, because I've met a lot of people with thyroid problems.
Yeah, definitely that.
But you can get checked out, and so I am probably not the best for advice because literally if you're the guy that's gotten checked out and you're just making excuses, I'm like, dude, you quit fucking lying to yourself and push more.
It is kind of crazy how many people lie about how often they work out and what they do.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yeah. Well, and again, I probably sound jaded, but coming as a recovering fat kid myself, right? Like, fuck, I wake up and eat peanut butter. My wife has to hide the shit, right? I got problems. So I